Okay, guys, we are live! So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly 3.5 Dungeon Master today, because today we are going to be playing a special Halloween session, which is also serving as a war story in our ongoing Night Below campaign. And it will be played with... You know, I feel like there's not like an ugly stepchild of the edition. I feel like in the last couple of years, every edition has had some kind of renaissance and kind of like reassessment, reappreciation. So I won't call it that, but it is the Dungeons and Dragons 3.5 edition that we will be using to play today's session. And with me today are the stars of today's session. I can't remember what I called this war story, to be honest. But I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing today. First up, we've got Dave.
Hey everybody, I'm Dave. I am our resident armorsmith, and I'm playing Alisha Taliesin. She is, at this stage, a 6th level human paladin of St. Cuthbert.
Yeah, so Alisha Taliesin, that name sounds familiar to me, Dave. Why does that name sound so familiar?
Because in the night below, she was discovered by the party and it was escaping the clutches of Broken Spire Keep.
That sounds right. You know, that does sound correct. For those who may be
adventures with like Nox and the rest of them.
Exactly. For those who may not be familiar with our channel, one of the things we like to do in some of our campaigns is to play war stories, which are stories set either at different times or different places or a combination of the two, often using different rule sets to explore more parts of the story from a different perspective, and that is what we will be doing today. Alicia's meeting up with the main party in our Night Below campaign is about 2 years in the future from today's session. But joining Dave in playing Alisha to explore this war story or lesson from the past is George.
Hey everybody, I'm George. I am playing Bucharab Bent, who is a human, and he is a 6th level archivist.
Nice. For those who aren't familiar with Archivist, Archivist is a class from Heroes of Horror. Actually a really, really cool supplement. I really enjoyed reading that over the last little bit. Getting ready for today's session. So, guys, without further ado, let's jump right into our game. So, as I mentioned, this adventure takes place about 2 years prior to the events of the current Night Below. They take place about, I think it's 4 years after the giant invasion of Threshold. Threshold is the capital of Middenmark to the north. Oh, I got the wrong thing open. Sorry, George, you're not under attack yet.
Oh, we're starting to pull out my wand of magic missile.
So Threshold is where our adventure will take place. Regular viewers of the Night Below will know that our campaign has thus far largely been focused on Harrenshire, Milbourne, Thurmaster, Palfrey's Keep, and then somewhere deep in the Thornwood Forest is Broken Spire Keep, where we have been adventuring for the last couple of months. This takes place way up in Threshold, and you guys may recall from previous war stories and previous sessions that Threshold was subjected to a pretty intense attack by a giant army. And I don't mean an army that was large in size, I mean literally an army filled with giants. The city nearly fell, but it was, I'm just going to try and get this up here. Here we go. Look at that. It was successfully defended, but at a fairly great cost, and that was the utter destruction of a third of the city. So like from here and almost all the way around to the walls of the keep here, there is now the Giants Fall district. It is so called because they basically have walled off an entire section where undead kept coming up. The last time we visited Threshold was with our 4th edition War Stories adventure, and at that time the threat was largely maintained. And that was before the Hungry Winter came, and that did come after. So actually this takes place a year before, not 2 years. The Hungry Winter came, and that was something. It was a random event that we had generated in our regular campaign, and it led. It was a spreading sickness across the region. It was not something that we had tied into current events. It just so happened that a couple months before, things kind of fell apart in the world. We had rolled this event for our session. Threshold has seen a very challenging couple of years. Alisha, this is your home. You are a paladin of St. Cuthbert. This is where you have been serving. The Hungry Winter was tough, even with the incredible abilities of the priests of St. Cuthbert and the paladins of St. Cuthbert to remove disease. It was not able to save everyone. Paladins can only do that once a week. So there were people who just died before the paladins were able to use their power. In addition to that, the plague of undeath that afflicted the Giants Fall district so badly seemed to affect the rest of those who died. So you would have pockets of undead that were going up. And to make matters worse, it seems as if there was a coordinated effort, or somehow some kind of coordinating will amongst the undead, because there was a breach in the Giants Fall district, and hundreds of undead poured out while the city was still trying to survive under quarantine. A final difficult development, Anna wants me to remind you, was in the depths of the sickness, there was a cult unveiled that was part of the Legion of Beelzebub, a devil, archdevil, who is the master of flies and is the associated with corruption and disease. George's been
kind of convenient that there's a plague and Beelzebub services.
Yeah. Whether there was a cult of opportunity, but they did seem... Let me double check what's going on here.
New book?
There are kids standing outside.
Damn kids.
Damn kids. Quit standing in front of the house. You're driving the dog nuts. The Legion of Beelzebub, as it called itself, did seem to try and organize some kind of attacks on the Church of St. Cuthbert, to try and stem their efforts to alleviate the plague. So between the organization of the undead, the collapse of the parts of the wall in the Giants Fall district, the seeming organizing mind behind some of the undead, the sickness itself, it has just been a hellish year in Threshold. And the revelation of the concealed cult has made it... What are these kids doing? Oh, they're all going down. They're meeting up to go tobogganing. I fully support that. A proud Canadian tradition.
Is there snow?
Oh yeah, we got a ton of stuff. I'll send you a picture afterwards. Yeah, we got probably 6 inches, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I think we might have got about 8 here.
Oh wow. Yeah. Well, it'll be melted. We got a Chinook coming in on Monday, so it'll be melted by midweek, hopefully. But it's here for now. So that has been, Alisha, what you have been dealing with. I think that depending on how long you think she has served, the last year in particular has been an absolute trial by fire for her. You have had to fight side by side with your fellows in the streets, trying to crush undead, hunt them down once the walls were put back up in the Giants Fall district, to deal with the betrayal at some of the highest levels. When we last were in Threshold, the Inquisition seemed to be getting an important place in the city of Threshold. And it's an even stronger place now. Paranoia has grown even stronger. And the betrayals from those in service to the Lord of Flies has left everyone questioning, what is going to happen next? What is going on? And the answer from the St. Cuthbert Inquisition has been to go on the offensive, to hunt. Or so you've heard, Alisha. I think to this point, adventuring is not something that you have properly done, like in the form of like get together with a bunch of people with different backgrounds and go and do, you know, strange things. Yours has sadly been...
That sounds weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just hang out with a bunch of people from your own church and gather and have brunch on Sundays and then go kill some undead after? Like,
well, what I mean more is that yours has largely been further to something you had said before we started the stream. I think that Alicia's martial inclinations may come from this. She is a paladin of war, not one of principle necessarily, in the sense that she has had to fight and defeat things, and she has accumulated a series of rewards and designations and whatnot over the course of her career. But you haven't traveled far and wide and seen wonderful things and gone on glorious chivalric quests. You've fought against the dead of your own city. You know, you fought against your dead comrades when they have come back. So what I'd like us to start with is with Alisha coming back to her quarters and you telling us a little bit about what those would be like.
I think it's a very small chamber in the church. They've just got a hallway of small stone chambers, very simple, with a very plain straw bed, a little shrine to St. Cuthbert, or something in the room that she can pray at if she needs to.
Yep.
Although she's, you know, walked down the hallway to the main amphitheater where they would hold services, but everybody likes to have their own space sometimes, and it's really just like, you know, plop the gear off into the corner and change into a clean shift and maybe just find some solitude in not fighting.
Yeah,
as much as she enjoys what she does.
As she's casting off her armor and whatnot, this is not the regalia of a honor guard or something like that. This is someone who has come fresh from the battlefield. Her tabard is stitched and repaired in some things, and perhaps even when you're taking it off, you see like, oh shit, you didn't realize that a sword stroke had gotten through or a claw had gotten through or something like that. You're placing it down, but you can see your hands are calloused and dirty before you clean them. There are nicks and marks and bruises, you know, that in various states of healing on your body, even with the blessings of St. Cuthbert and the magical healings that are that you can avail yourself of as a valued member of the church, and your own divine blessings. They still leave reminders. The gods don't grant clean slates. They grant second chances. And it's maybe you drifted it off, or maybe you just weren't paying attention. What you can see is that someone has slipped a folded envelope underneath the door to your cell.
Kind of odd. That's a rarity. It's very open here, and
absolutely.
So go over and pick it up.
As you walk over and look down, you can see there is a crest on it, and it is the mark of St. Cudgel, the kind of like strange cross that Cuthbert uses. But there is a extra flourish that is on it that you know to be characteristic of the Inquisition. That is the seal that holds this folded piece of parchment closed.
Okay, well, I think she'll make sure her door is closed. It doesn't lock, but that's okay. She'll maybe just, she'll just maybe kick her boot in front of the door so that it drags and makes a sound if someone tries to open it, and then she'll go and sit on her bed. And it's kind of weird getting something from the Inquisition. I think she'd be like nervous about opening it, because you know they're different. It's not like, I don't know. It's not like just doing open work for the church. So I think she's gonna be a little cautious. And
it's also, as is the members of the Church of St. Cuthbert, while they have connections with the divine as evidenced by their various magics and whatnot they can work, they do not know the mind of their god. So even those spells that do allow you to, or prayers that allow you to gain some insight for them, they're often vague or difficult for a mortal mind to decipher. And so, like any other human institution or mortal institution, it is flawed and makes mistakes. And the overzealous search of further members of the Legion of Beelzebub afterwards has led to a lot of innocent or seemingly potentially innocent people getting caught in it. So the Inquisition is not... There is a very good reason for it. There is good works that it does, but it also exceeds its grasp sometimes. So to be a little bit concerned about that might not be an unreasonable expectation. But you break the seal, and then it explodes and you die. What's been... No. It's actually been a doppelganger that you've been playing the whole time. You break it open, and there is only... It's a very short note. Like, I'm not sure what you were necessarily expecting, but I imagine it's shorter than what you thought. What it says is an address that is in a disused trading district near the Giants Fall district. So a former kind of merchant house. And it says simply 3 words. And I'll put them in chat, so you can feel free to read them.
For war? Huh.
What do you make of that, Alisha?
Yeah, not what she was expecting. She was expecting, like, we need to just come somewhere and speak on behalf of someone, or like, being a witness to somebody's actions and, questioning someone's character, and come for war. That's strange to come from the Inquisition, not like a marshal or grandmaster or something, but I think she'll commit the address to memory and burn this.
Okay. So you hold it over a lantern, and it's not flash paper, but it does burn quite easily. Okay.
So she's definitely, she has accepted, I guess.
Okay. And the seal, I imagine, that was on it, it has just become an, completely formless blob of grayish or reddish gray wax at the foot of your candle. So we then will cut to, it is evening. So we see you passing through the streets of night. You can see that most of the quarters that are occupied here, it's the upper stories that are lit. And in part, that is because they still have yet to have, an absolute certainty that there are no other undead lurking around this area. And those who would come to live here would be quite desperate and likely would keep to themselves. So whatever is going on above certainly are not people who come here to truck in business. The place that you were looking for is found at the end of one alley that used to lead deeper into the Giants Fall district, but is now where the demolished homes or buildings stand. There is that massive erected wooden wall that keeps the lurking undead. You can, in fact, hear them. Crusades have been launched to try and burn all of them out of there, but for some reason, they just seem to keep coming back. Where the fuel of additional bodies and undead are coming from, it's unknown. but it thus far has remained a constant reminder of the tragedy that befell. Cheers.
Cheers, George.
Yeah, I got my Diet Coke.
That befell the Giants Fall district and Threshold on large. And you reach the door. Unlike some of these others, there are no lights in this section. Now, you do know that thieves and ruffians have been known to lurk in this area to prey on those foolish enough or desperate enough or drunk enough to make their way down here. Would you have activated your light source in order to illuminate your way down here? People who see a seasoned warrior of St. Cuthbert might think twice before trying to rob you. Or are you...
Yeah, I don't think... no, I think she's just gonna. Actually, yeah, she doesn't see in the dark, and she's going to. Yeah, she would probably have her light on.
Okay. So there is a little mote of light that is drifting over your shoulder, illuminating your way along, and you're easily able to find the building you're looking for. It's one out from the one that was basically partially demolished in order to build the Giants Fall barrier.
Yeah, I think she'll walk up to the door and draw her mace and just boom, boom, boom.
You hit the door with one stroke and it opens up. You need not make a check, but you can see that not this room, but down a corridor into the end, there seems to be light coming from underneath the door.
Okay, I think she'll step in and close the door behind her.
Okay.
And ready her shield just before she crosses the room.
Okay. You have an unfortunate amount of, beneficial for your own safety, but unfortunate in the sense that you are fighting in your own hometown. You have a great deal of experience fighting in close quarters with the undead, and you know where to kind of look for them. You check your corners as you're going down. It seems like there may have been the telltale signs of some things. There are dried liquids on the ground that may have been, tanning supplies or some other kind of chemical, but could easily be spatters of dried blood. There are scratches on the ground, but they are quite old. And unfortunately, you don't have the training that some of your men-at-arms. There's perhaps someone that an expert tracker, even within the streets of Threshold, who could tell you what's making these markings on the ground, but that information is not available to you tonight. So you make your way down to the end. How do you wish to open or approach or knock on the door from where this light is coming?
This is the place she was invited to, so she'll knock the same way she knocked on the front door.
Sure.
The mace, nice heavy. Boom, boom, boom.
Why don't you give us a move silently check? I'm not sure you've got training in that, and I'm pretty sure you got your armor penalty to it, but let's just see what the dice come out at.
Yeah, definitely not the most silent. -5 penalty.
It's not as bad as it could be, I guess. That's really not that bad.
No, she rolled a 17. So that's pretty good.
So you make your way forward, and you're a lot quieter than what would you expect. So I think you catch things, boop, boop, and you hear a voice from within say, "Come in, Sister Alisha."
All right. And this door's actually closed, so she'll have
This door is actually closed.
She'll put her mace away.
Okay.
And open it up with her weapon hand.
You open it up, and there are, in this small room, hi. Anna says hi. Yes, I said your name.
Anna.
He has a hound in there, I guess. Is that right? Yeah. There's a hound in there. My co-DM has spoken. What you see in there is a small round table. From the look of it, it's been at some point fairly damaged, and you would guess it's just been set up in here. At the table sits an older man, long white beard, a book before him. He has the look of a wizard of some kind, perhaps a scholar, maybe a sage. But you're thinking more wizard now because on the tip of his spear, you can see sitting quite docile is a bone-white crow, or I'm sorry, raven. And sitting across from him is a man who looks like this. The symbol of St. Cuthbert on his chest, but a much rougher road priest look to him than the, more... St. Cuthbert is a fairly rough and tumble faith anyway, but this guy, even for the followers of the cudgel, is a little rough and tumble. But you don't recognize the face of either of these men. It is the man with the leather cassock on top of his chainmail who speaks first, and it's the first voice you saw. Sister Alisha, come in. And you can see there is a third chair here, mismatched with the others.
She'll again step in the room, close the door behind her.
Okay. You found my note then. Thank you.
I come for war.
And war you shall have. And he looks over at the man the bearded man sitting next to him. My name is Brother Estwood. This is Bucharab. And you hear, "Rah!" And that is Alabaster. "Ah, ah."
Okay. She'll move toward the table and nod to Bucharab and give maybe a wink to Alabaster, and then sit down.
Alabaster reacts. And Brother Estwood says, Sister, what are your feelings on the work of the Inquisition?
Mixed. Some good and some not so good, but that's no different really than most places. Good intent, sometimes poor execution.
Sister, there are some in the Inquisition who would find your questioning to border on the heretical.
I done nothing that could actually be labeled heretical. Any of them tried to push that up the ladder. Find equally difficult resistance.
Why do you say some bad from the Inquisition?
Theory, they have a great goal, but their execution is sloppy.
He looks over at the older man and he says, you see, even a paladin can think in flexible terms.
Never thought I'd see the day.
Alisha, sister, I work for the Inquisition, but I am not the Inquisition. Our work is in the shadows. We do not bother ourselves with merchants who fail to attend prayer enough times, or those who offer up gifts or other offerings to other gods, allies of the cudgel. We go after the really bad ones. There is
more appropriate.
Our resources are stretched thin, and there is a threat to which I cannot devote my full attention. Bucharab here, though. He's normally who we send. But the last person who stood shield and weapon before Bucharab, they died. So he needs someone new. Someone who will not die. Sister Alisha? I believe that may be you.
Speak more of this threat. Bucharab, what do you know of this threat?
And Bucharab, you actually, this is sort of, you come in, he gives you stuff, you go out and try and chase it down. It's been a very hectic couple of months.
Yeah, and I think, like, as he's describing the death of his last protector, he kind of holds up his arm and, like, pulls back his sleeve and shows, like, a bunch of scratches that have, healed. It's like, I was close to death myself.
This is Brother Estwood. Well, I mean, you guys both have, it's only PCs in the thing, so you would know who's speaking. I have assets in the city. And one such asset has revealed a very suspicious cabal, may be the right word, conspiracy, if it spreads further. Brother Bucharab, what he does is he searches down these thoroughly and completely investigates and documents them and ensures that they are not threats any longer. I don't know the nature of this, and nor do I have time to investigate it further, but it must be investigated. I trust Bucharab to fully assess this and determine an appropriate step. And from what I have been told of you, sister, I can have full faith that he will be able to accomplish his task with your help.
Indeed. And we will definitely be... She eyes Bucharab up. So we can take care of your concern without accidentally dealing with someone because of a jealous neighbor. We'll make sure that it is indeed a threat before we... At least that's how I will.
You hear a whack, whack from Al. And you know, because you can speak to Al, I like her.
Oh. We'll see. That's all that you hear.
Yeah. Then, Brother Eswood gets up, and he is a lot sprier than what he looks. You know, you would expect him to get up, kind of, but he gets up, grabs his shillelagh, and says, "I will leave it to you then. The asset, he will find you at the Oak and Axe." You guys both are familiar enough with it. Oak and Axe is a popular tavern not far from the Giants Fall district that is popular with adventurers. It is so called because a frost giant managed to get in and get a giant axe stuck in the ceiling or the roof of this thing. Then no one has figured out how to bother getting it removed without removing the whole roof, and it's just given the place a sense of character. So what was the oak is now colloquially known as the oak and axe. He leaves, and as soon as he closes the door, you cannot hear him walking any longer, leaving the two, forgive me, Al, the three of you in the room.
I think Alisha hides the fact that she speaks Sul and just tries to keep a passive face, or maybe even kind of like look a little puzzled when they talk.
Cool. Well, glad to have a protector again, but I am a survivor. I'm sure we will get through this together. And to think I used to just be a librarian.
Is there anything I should know?
Oh, there is much to know. We have learned a great deal since the incursion of undead. I will dispense whatever wisdom I can as we go to keep us safe. But this new threat, something I am, of course, unsure of. So I will sometimes need a moment or two to make some notes and sketches if you could hold off the hordes.
Okay.
And you see
that?
He kind of comes off as like he's a little bit insane. Like he's like on the edge. He's seen some horrible things probably.
Oh yeah.
And he's old.
Yeah, and he has also, the archivist is a type of character that is around and has knowledge of some of the very worst fucking things. So that has to have come with a cost as well.
Yeah. I'm actually 27.
Exactly. I'm only 22. All right. So then, where to now?
What time of day is it?
Evening.
I might have missed it. Evening.
Yeah, it's probably only about 8 o'clock or so.
Okay.
It is, let me think here. It is late summer. Yeah. So.
Okay. And approximately how far, or how long would it take us to reach the Oaken Axe?
Oh, it's like 15 minutes of walking at most.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shall we proceed to the Oaken Axe, or is there anything else you wish to discuss beforehand?
It seems you've earned the trust of the Inquisition. Why should I trust you?
Well, that is an assumption. I think it's just that I'm one of the few left. The archivist. But that is an excellent question. Why should you trust me? Well,
Alisha, why don't you give us, sorry, George, just give us 1 second.
Yeah,
Would you give
please.
us a knowledge, I think it's theology or religion?
I think it's religion.
It's religion in this game, yeah.
Yeah, knowledge religion.
Religion. Kabam.
So, the archivist, when he makes that mention, most priests, get their power by prayer. They join the church, they go through the, whatever else and whatnot. The archivist is a bit of, they are not necessarily part of the church, but they are definitely favored by the gods. It's almost like, it's not a great analogy, but it's like the employee who does everything fucking wrong, but the boss lets them get away with it because they're certain, they fill a specific niche in things. That's sort of what the archivist is for the gods. It's like, well, yeah, like you're not doing this right or that right or whatever else, but they sort of fill their own thing. They're also much more independent minded. I don't think you've ever met an archivist in person.
But they still get good powers granted by the gods.
Definitely, yeah.
Divine powers.
Yeah.
Okay, then she would say, which divine power grants you your gifts?
Well, I was actually just wondering that myself because I don't.
No, it isn't with the Archivist. It isn't. I'll tell you what the.
Or is it just from? I don't know. Is it a universal sort of?
As long as George doesn't pull out that little swirling rock thing, we're okay.
I would assume that it's nothing like that. It is some sort of god of knowledge or something.
Yeah, well, the Archivist is a wielder of divine magic similar to a cleric only in the type and nature of magic at his command. Indeed, the Archivist has more in common with the wizard than he does with the standard servant of the divine due to the scholarly way in which he collects and maintains his spell selection. Archivists seek out esoteric sources of divine lore wherever those sources might be, securing those secrets for themselves and their fellow scholars. With respect to alignment, it says characters of any alignment can become archivists, but the class does require some measure of academic detachment. As a result, archivists of an ethically lawful bent are quite common.
So it's not any one divine source. It can be from multiple sources.
Yeah, and actually, like, the Archivist can the Archivist can add to their prayer book any divine spells. So that includes paladin spells, ranger spells, druid spells, shaman spells, all the domain spells, if they have access to them. They only learn clerical spells as the automatic thing, but they can supplement their learnings with it.
But you would have to be like either a good aligned archivist and draw from good deities, or no, or you could be
no.
Okay.
They've got basically they can cheat at divine magic.
So she wouldn't ask that then, because she would know that.
Yeah, you certainly have that understanding.
The archivist would draw from different deities, so she wouldn't ask which one because she knows it would be from multiple.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, and George, interrupted you before. What were you saying?
No, I don't remember what I was saying, but I think.
Why should I trust you?
Well, okay. Well, and I think what recognizes that I have this cool staff that you can see there, and it. I think being a paladin, maybe you might recognize that this is my holy symbol, because you don't see a holy symbol on me, and I'm just sort of saying that that's my symbol of transfiguration, holy symbol, my magical item, because it has that sort of scholarly arcane kind of bent to it, rather than like a classic holy symbol that a cleric would have of a specific god or a symbol of a specific god. You know
what? There's actually a bit of an obscure fantasy series that might have a good way of understanding it. Have you guys heard of the Lord of the Rings before? Or because the Istari are kind of more like archivists than they are D&D style wizards, because their power, they are agents of the secret fire, right? Like they are not they're not wizards who just like develop power on their own the way that D&D wizards do.
Yeah.
So you might think of it in that way, Alisha, is that they definitely work with divine powers, but they aren't connected to the gods the way that paladins or clerics would be.
That's interesting.
Just back to your question, why should I trust you?
Well, it's hard for me to answer that question, except by my actions as we proceed. But I have been working for the Inquisition all this time, trying to save our people from this scourge, and I have suffered for it. Maybe that will give you some belief that I fight for the side of the righteous, of the good.
Alisha, if
therefore to be trusted.
I think you can either give us a sense motive, or you can just take a 10 on it.
Looks like I'm taking 10.
So now, well,
Nice.
no. That's what that all-important or conjunctive was for. We are going to play with Astonishing Fortune again today, so you do have each 2 points of Astonishing Fortune, so you could re-roll that, Alisha, if you'd like.
Yeah, I think not trusting Bucharab right off the start would be really difficult.
Might make sense over the course of the first adventure of you're less suspicious of him. Yeah.
It'd be make it interesting.
Okay.
So that's good enough. He seems, when he talks about what he's been through, there's just a much more... You recognize the look of, like, it's a guy who's seen some shit.
Yeah.
In the way that
I've seen it, and the people around me have seen it. So it's a familiar sense of, like worn out empathy.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So you,
Plus,
with
I have a bird. And you actually know what the bird is saying, actually, which I don't know that you know, but the bird's clearly good aligned.
Yeah, she'll put her arm out then.
Okay, so he'll clasp.
Okay.
That's me off then.
Very good.
So if you step out, activate your thing again, you make your way across town and to the Oak and Axe. Oak and Axe is busy tonight with the work that the adventurers have done through being hired out by locals, hired out by the church. Lots of people have come here to make their fortunes. Lots of things to do, or to plumb the depths. It's said that there are caverns underneath the Giants Fall district exposed during the war, and there are still those detestable folk who want to still brave the Giants Fall district and try and rob from the dead. There was, I think we talked during our 4th edition game about the roof running that had become popular, of youths clambering over the wall and scrambling along roof to roof to roof to try and break in and steal stuff, or just brave, prove yourself brave the way that youths do with avoiding the hordes of undead beneath. But you wouldn't know that the city had gone through such things coming into here. Everyone seems happy. There's the sound of at least 2 different groups of musicians who seem to be playing in different parts, but the rumble and sound of the middle of the Oak and Axe kind of chokes out the sound. So if you get to one side, you can only hear the one band, and then on the other side, you can only hear the other band. You realize, of course...
Yes. Oh, sorry, Kev.
No, go ahead, George.
I love this character, of course, based on what the class is, but also just I took a few minutes to think about his whole backstory because
awesome.
I can't help myself. So I think he's like constantly pointing things out. I'll just do it one time here, but he's constantly pointing out as we go along, not in combat situations, to Alisha, like as they're passing that band, he's like, Shared Dreams. That's the name of that song. Mm-hmm. It's a very excellent tune. It dates back 600 years to the...
I prefer it in the original halfling, but this is...
Exactly. It's passable. It's passable.
And at first, Alisha, you're thinking, like, is he talking to the crow, or is he talking to me?
And it's hard to tell, because, like, the crow is between me and you.
Yeah. So... Alabaster.
She goes to answer a couple times, and then the crow says something, and she's like, "Okay, well, never mind." She was talking to me. And then sometimes the crow doesn't answer, and she leans over, like she's like, "Is he waiting for me to answer now, or is it? I don't know, whatever."
Or sometimes maybe the crow looks over at you because the crow just like, "Can you believe this guy?"
Yeah, it shrugs with its wings.
Yeah.
So what? Where do you wish to take your place? There's probably a big, there's a bar. There's probably some chairs you could, like long tables you could wedge yourself into. There's just corners or spots on the wall you could lean against.
I'm leaving these sorts of decisions up to, and maybe we had this conversation on the way over here, the strategic, tactical, these kinds of questions. Like, I have lots of knowledge, but that's not one area that I know much about. So I'm sort of leaving most of that to Alisha, unless, there's a question and we need to discuss something. But in general, I'm kind of following her lead.
Yeah, and I think she'll let you know along the way that she's like, I don't skulk, and I would like to say that I can be tactful and maybe not as well as I'd like. So I prefer the direct approach, but I know that that's not always the best. It's great when you're fighting zombies and skeletons and undead, but this is kind of new to me. She's starting to think of like things she's had to do within the church hierarchy, where she couldn't just smash her way through, and she actually had to like play some politics, and she hates it, but like she's like, this is going to be a challenge, but we'll find a way.
Okay.
And I think I respond to that saying that to sort of sew up that conversation, that we sort of straddle a similar line from two different directions. So this may be the beginning of a very fruitful relationship. And Raven's like, shut up, you blowhard.
No, he says.
I think she.
I should let Kevin play the Raven. The Raven. Oh, well, let's hope that doesn't happen too soon.
So, perhaps for a moment, Alisha, you might give us a spot check and see if you can.
Spot check? Is that a Russian skill?
Exactly, spot check. Do not make me start, because otherwise the puppets are coming out.
Oh, I just love the word. The words spot check.
Yeah.
Just sound so funny to me. Yeah, I'll do a spot check.
So you're having a hard time looking around, and I mean it's understandable. This place is very, very busy, and you're just like, and I guess the more to the point, you don't even know what you're supposed to be looking for. So it's perhaps not a surprise when a waitress walks over to you and says, looks over at, she seems to be like focusing on the crow in particular, or the raven in particular, not a crow. Mm-hmm. The raven in particular looks up, and she walks over and says, well, old man, the person you're looking for is waiting for you in the back. You want me to bring something back for you?
Yes. I'll just have, if you have any fresh water, anything else dulls the senses. And same for the raven. And the raven squawks something. No, I told you cannot have that. Alisha,
and for you, my lady?
I'll have a brandy.
Okay.
And so, I say, it's on me, and I'll slide some coins over to the waitress.
Thank you. Second door on the right. It should be unlocked.
And Alisha looks to Bucharab and goes, I think you're right about this relationship.
And I laugh.
So, Alisha, I'm not sure you've been here before, but Bucharab, you certainly have. And you know that all the like all good adventuring taverns, this place has, private rooms at the back for either meeting with secret contacts or exchanging goods or for ambushes. In your case, about 50-50.
Okay.
So,
before we walk back, one quick question for you, Alisha. You have any strange dreams last night?
Have I had strange dreams?
Yeah, it's last night. Did you have anything that you recall that was strange while you were sleeping?
Not stranger than usual? No.
Okay, then we should be fine. He doesn't even explain what he's talking about. He just stands up and starts walking back there.
Okay. Alisha, what do you make of his question?
She's going to rush forward and grab Booker up by the arm. Wait a second.
Yes.
So, I did dream that I was in Giant's Fall by myself. Mm-hmm. And I was fighting this group of like 3 undead. But my mace was like of wet reeds. It just kept flopping around. It wasn't hitting them like it normally would.
Mm-hmm.
What do you make of that?
Very interesting.
You can give us a knowledge planes, Bucharab, if you like.
Okay, here we go. Oops. Skills in there. Knowledge planes. There it is.
Holy shit, nat 20.
Yeah.
So,
Weapon failure.
Bucharab, what you think, and you ask Alisha, wait, what was it that it was, that the thing was somehow pliable, or was it that it passed through them? And if you think about it, that's actually, Alisha, that is the case. It's something that fucking passed through, as if it was having no effect. It was part of, now that you think of it, it was a more terrifying ordeal. I'm just remembering what your ability... Okay, hold on. I need to grab... All right.
As you're looking at it, Bucharab starts saying, yes, great dreams can tell us much about what is to come. And this one is very curious considering our current situation. Mm-hmm. Here's what I think it may mean.
Yeah, mechanically wise, Dave, what Bucharab is doing is indulging in his dream-telling feat.
It's pretty fun.
Okay, so
Wait, what I'm
30...
mechanics-wise, I'm just trying to flesh out my character.
Absolutely.
No, it's good. No, same. You gave me a great opportunity to do some of that for me, too.
So what I think you know, or you can take from this, Bucharab, and this is what you know. You need to be mindful of weapons being ineffective against your foes, in particular against Alicia's foes. She describes undead, and she described her weapon flailing about.
I kind of relay that to her, and I add, there are many types of undead, as you know. It's but possible that we are dealing with some that have in some sort of incorporeal aspect to them. Perhaps that is why your mace was moving right through them. There may be ways I can aid you, but you must be careful.
He asks you too. He sort of locks eyes with you, and because you rolled nat 20, I want to fish you a little more out of here.
Cool.
Think about your dream, Alisha. Think about where you were. You are a native of Threshold. You probably know the square or the district that you were in if you were the type to be out and around the city. While those were coming in on you, did you feel anything else at play? Was there another presence? And in the 70s film version of this, we would see very close-up versions of his eyes and then her eyes, and it would go back, and there'd be a strange, clicking music we'd hear.
And then we see Alisha on the scene in the dream, and the edges of the camera are like faded out black, so it looks like a circle.
Yeah.
And I think just from like her movements and stuff like that, she can figure out, she was in an open square. There like used to be like carts, abandoned carts along the one side that had just been pushed up, and they were blocking an opening. Like an alley that maybe used to be used, but it's like they're... Why would you block an alley in an abandoned square? She's not sure.
Bucharab, him still like locking your eyes. What was in the alley? What was there?
It was just a dark... I was fighting them. It was a dark alley.
There was a mark on the ground.
Think, man. What was it? What did it look like? Man, I said,
Like,
think, woman.
huddles closer and then kind of has to go around the bird.
And you, what you see in your dream, he's helped you uncover it somehow. Perhaps that little hanging pendant has been ever so slightly moving back and forth as he tries to help you focus your memory. Alisha, you need not roll for this. There was a blasphemous marking made with the terrible vital fluids of some living thing or things on the ground.
Ew.
A marking of something not undead, but most certainly not of this world, and absolutely evil. So as far as your preparations are concerned, Bucharab, Alisha's dreams may be telling you something otherworldly and evil is afoot.
Yeah, and I start cycling through, the options that I have at my disposal for what I might have at the tip, on the tip of my mind to do in whatever situation we find ourselves.
Okay, then you are in that alleyway, I think, or no, the corridor that leads back to sort of the secret meeting rooms. I think she said second on the right.
I think you said second on the left. Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, I could be wrong too.
Okay, I don't want to go in the wrong place.
Yeah, there is no map. Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, this is the wrong.
Driz and Brunor and Guinevere are there.
Wrong.
Sorry, guys, wrong IP.
Yeah. I just always associate the left, like the classic
lucky left.
Sinister. Yeah. So I turn to Alisha and say, "Would you like to take the lead?"
Sorry?
Would you like to take a lead?
No, it's okay.
Okay, very well. I know my way back here. Follow me. So I'll head back there, and I'll get to the door, and I will rap on it with my... Oh, no, the raven's on top of my staff. So, I think I'll just actually, with my free hand, knock on the door.
There's no answer from within.
Interesting. This is odd. I was told there would be somebody inside. Or I'm going to knock one more time. Maybe he's lost in thoughts or something.
Dr. Gen?
Yeah.
As far as I can tell, you haven't tested the door yet. No.
Just knock.
Okay. Still no response.
Okay. So then I will... I'm very cautious considering how many, and I don't mention this to Alisha, how many protectors I've lost.
I see all those notches on the staff, like
exactly.
She steps past you. She steps past you, opens the door, and walks through.
Okay.
I was literally I started to weave a spell, and it was going to be detect magic. But
I'm gonna. All right, so Alisha, you walk in, and what you see, there is a room with a oval-shaped table with 6 chairs around it. There is a drink on it, but there is a ceiling that goes up about 10 feet, and then there are rafters up there too. But there is a barrier between this room and the next rooms, and you look around. Where the fuck is... There's no one in here. But there is a drink.
I go over and lift it up and smell it.
So you go up and lift it up and smell it. Bucharab, when you see Alisha walk in, what do you do?
I stop mid-incantation. Mm-hmm. I go, well, that works. And then I follow in... kind of take in the scene.
Okay.
And immediately my hackles are up, anytime something weird's going on, I've got this sense of paranoia that I've developed over time, but B, even before that, which still continues, is my need to know everything.
Yeah.
So this is like a little bit of a mystery of what's going on here. So we quickly is going to scan everything and try to figure out
Sure.
like if there's anything else to notice.
Yeah. I don't think you're not trained in survival, are you?
No,
Okay.
I am not.
Let me just double check. I actually don't know if it's trained only. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So there are certain things you can do with survival without training, but some things are just beyond the scope of what you've got. Why don't you give us Bucharab and Alisha a listen check each, please?
Okay.
Listen.
I wish the little die icon was closer to the name of the skill, because I keep going all the way across, going like, wait, am I about to click the
The wrong thing. Yeah.
And I'm sure it won't matter, but just in case it does, I have a bonus when it comes to listening for incorporeal creatures.
So Alisha, you're actually the one who hears someone's foot has shifted in one of the corners, and as far as you can tell, there's no one there. And you can hear from that corner, and Bucharab, now that you hear it, you know the rough area where it's coming from, but Alisha, you hear a voice come from there.
Shut the door. What we have to discuss isn't for others to hear.
Looks back at Bucharab, who came in after her.
I'll reach back, pull the door shut.
You pull the door shut, and then with a seemingly just with an effort of will, a gnome appears.
Interesting.
The man in the hat sent you.
That is correct.
Sit down.
And he goes over, and there's a chair that is set for like gnome, halfling, kobold kind of height. Scrambles up onto it and points at the drink that you have in your hand, Alisha, and says,
Might I have that back?
Puts it down in front of him.
takes it.
Takes one of the seats.
Same.
So you hear a knock at the door, and he says,
Come in.
the waitress comes in, brings your drinks, sets them down, goes out, and closes the door. He keeps his eyes fixed on her the entire time. Not in the way one might watch an animal of which you are unfamiliar.
Interesting.
I'm not sure how this might react, so she goes out.
Okay. I'm just studying whatever conversations we have the whole time, sort of study. I basically just, and I think I do this with everything and everybody, just taking in everything about him, like what kind of clothes he's wearing, what style is it, how old are they, like, are there any emblems, like, just for future reference, not even to figure something out for now.
He appears to be a gnome. Obviously, he used some kind of magic to conceal himself, probably an elementary invisibility spell or something akin to that, but perhaps it's a magic item. He does have a lot of different, probably magic items that are on him from the looks of things. He also does seem like there is a bag that probably is a book bag. The kind of thing you'd have a spell book in, and there are spell scrolls on him too. But he also has a short sword on him that has a very worn handle. And while you're not a master of the blade, you'd guess that it's in a place that could very easily be flicked to the hand as fast as a card might be played.
Cool.
He looks at you both.
My name's not important.
Nice
But
to
if
meet
you
not
need-
important.
It's Nimrod Bitterscorn.
I'm gonna say I have some kind of like, narratively an eidetic memory, and I make notes later, not while people are talking. So I'm not always because I'm not bad charismatically. Like I can interact with people.
Oh, definitely.
So I know it's kind of rude to do that. So, but I am paying attention to all this, and I'm, later I'll take my notes on it.
Yeah.
And Alisha leans into Bucharab, past the Raven, and she's like, "And this is who we're supposed to meet? Not quiet enough that Nimrod wouldn't hear her."
Oh, yeah. And he seems to have quite keen ears.
Yeah.
And he says,
You're suspicious, then. That's good. For what you're.
he's kind of like trained his dark eyes on you, Alisha.
You're new to this, aren't you?
But you...
Depends on what we're doing.
He looks at Bucharab.
You know what you're in for.
Yes, you could say I am old to this. That was a joke. Sorry. Not good with jokes. Not anymore.
Hopefully you're better with your magic.
We shall see.
The man in the hat, he asked me to follow a group of adventurers. They called themselves the Deep Seekers. Five of them in total. 2 humans, a half-orc, a half-elf, and a gnome. A wizard, a priest, and a paladin among them. They had been into the Giants Fall district, and I believe deeper. I've been monitoring them for the man in the hat. And there's something going on with them. They've taken up residence in a tenement not far from the Giants Fall district, seeming they intend to stay for a while. I've also seen them, or someone from there, meeting. First, with one of the teams from the Laborers Guild, Edgewater team. And I've also seen them meet with members of House Odwin.
And you would both be familiar. House Odwin is one of the founding families of Threshold. I'll put these in here.
Oh, great.
I don't know if it's magic of some kind or another, but they have flawless disguises, the likes with which I could not penetrate.
Speaking of displaying cards, there's suddenly a scrap of parchment in his hand.
This is the address where the Deep Seekers are staying. Their meetings with the Edgewater team and House Odwin have grown more frequent. I have nothing else, but they're planning something. I can feel it. I thought the man in the hat should know.
And he looks at you, Bucharab.
You know what to do with this.
Of course I do. We shall discover what it is they are planning.
He sort of nods.
Good. You have the room for another hour. The next round will be on me. Pick something stronger than water. You'll need it.
He hops down, opens the door, somehow seeming to make almost no sound when he's doing that, and then closes the door likewise, almost making no sound, leaving just the two of you in here. Or at least what seemed to be just the two of you. 3, forgive me, Alabaster.
And do I think that because he gave us quite a bit of information about the Deep Seekers, did it seem like he purposely left out specific names of those adventurers, and just gave us their sort of races and their professions?
Yeah, I think he definitely didn't give you the names of them, and there's probably something you can infer from that.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's good. I mean, to Bucharab, like, non-information is also information.
Yeah.
So, all right, good. He makes a note of that too.
Yeah. So, Alisha, this is most certainly outside of your wheelhouse. These kind of...
she's like, what the hell just happened?
Well, I would call it the usual. A mysterious person gives us mysterious information having to do with some horrible event about to take place, and we are to figure out what it is.
And stop.
Welcome to the club.
And not die in the process.
Well, ideally.
The waitress pokes her head back in and says, he said you were ready for a second round?
No, I have had my fill, and there's much more I need to do this night. So thank you, but no.
All right. Closes the door. You have the scrap of paper with the information scrawled on it. What do you guys do next?
Do we know anything about the specific? So the Edgewater team is part of the Laborers Guild, correct?
Yes.
Have we heard anything specifically about what it sounds to me like they have something to do with the waterways or something, but do we have any? Have we ever heard of them before, I guess is the question.
Do either of you guys have any points in knowledge local?
Knowledge local, I'm not. It's not a class.
No skill points.
Let me see if I have any ranks in it.
But
knowledge local.
Nope. We're done with Edgewater team. I do have knowledge of nobility, so I might know something about the Oddwinds.
Yeah, you can give us a. What's your bonus with it?
7.
7. Okay, so I'm going to give you some baseline information, and then you can make a roll as well. One thing I've decided to do with the knowledge checks is just like there's going to be a threshold of what your bare information is, and then your roll will inform more stuff.
I think that's a really great way to do it, because it's always been an issue of like, oh, you know nothing, but this is some common stuff that anybody who had some training would know. So that's great. I like that way of doing it.
And I think that the one way I would think to in like an ongoing game is I'd allow take a 20 if you got access to library.
Oh yeah, that's cool too.
Right, because then there's a reason for the more knowledgeable sorts to be lurking around those libraries and bugging sages and shit like that.
Right.
Well, and like House Oddwood, if they're a founding family, everybody's going to know little bits and pieces about this family. Might not know like current events and who's doing what, but like everybody should know something. So yeah, a failure and getting absolutely nothing, you'd be like, well, why do I have this skill? Yeah,
this is the weird hole in my. Those 2 pages were stuck together in my textbook, so I never really, Would you give us a? But you can give us. You can still get extra information, and a critical fail will just follow forward to something else.
Cool. Okay. Or if critical failure gives you incorrect information.
Those are so tough because like you're really going to get people to act on those. Like,
yeah, I know.
It's okay. So that's really
want
good.
That, trust me.
Alisha, you are very familiar with them because House Otwin, in a Midmark wasn't founded as a theocracy. It became one over time. And House Otwin, it seems, has never quite... They've sent, members family members to be members of the church, but they've never quite fit, as it were. So where other members have happily, sort of become second class to the church in terms of power, or at least for temporal power in the city, House Odwin seems to have never really hit that compromise, and so they definitely are a powerful and founding family. They've always been just a little bit on the a little bit out of step with where the rest of the noble houses are. However, lately, with the changes that have been going through, there has been, while the Inquisition has helped seize back some of the control that the church had lost after the Giants' fall, after the Giant War. The Giant War definitely shook some people's faith in the ability for the church to lead. Like, how could the church have missed this shit? So the nobles, if there was a group to rally around to try and get a more substantial say in the governance of Threshold, House Odd would be one of the ones behind that, or leading that, I should say.
So they'd potentially be, or they're like an adversary to the church.
A rival, certainly.
Rival?
Adversary, maybe
potentially.
Not. Potentially.
Undiscovered.
Yeah.
Potentially.
And this is something you found with the Legion of Beelzebub over the last year, is that there could be all sorts of adversaries with whom you're not aware, right? So that they're lurking there in the shadows. So
okay, that's House Odwin.
What you do know is, because it has a pretty good role, House Odwin is not the type to hire adventuring companies and stuff like that. So there's not a direct connection to that, and House Odwin has no holding in the labor guild. So there's not a clear nexus between those three. So while you do not have knowledge local, I believe at least one of you has gather information.
Yes, I do. I'm pretty good at it too.
Yeah, so that is something that can likewise be used to
awesome.
Fill holes about major news items and things like that.
So is that Bucharab and I going into the common room and him plying the crowd?
Kind of, or just like catching up with folks that you kind of half know, or listening in on conversations and inserting yourself in, sitting down with strangers and just directing the conversation where you want.
Yeah, and I think my guess is that people sort of, I'm kind of recognizable, I would think, and I visit here often because I'm always looking for information, I think that I'm always trying to not only gather information, but when I can, I'm trying to offer information in exchange, not as a deal, but just like, oh, by the way, I wanted to let you know that I know you were looking into this or whatever was going on with you. I found this out in my travels, and I kind of like, let it be a flow of information.
So it takes let's see here. It takes 1d4 plus 1 hours for a typical gather information check. DC 10 gives you just the basics of what's in the city. If you've got more targeted things, it can be between DC 15 to DC 25 or even higher. But there's no consequence for fail.
Okay.
So you could take a 10 on it, or you could, what is it? A 20 is what, 20 times as long?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Is that right?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
I think that's right. I think it's 20 times as long. Which is not that long. It's
no,
not
really.
1d4 plus
and
1 hours.
I would just say it's spending the rest of the evening kind of asking around.
Okay, yeah.
So
good.
that would be, taking 10, taking 20.
Yeah. So that gives me a 28.
So it's 2 minutes. Yeah, 20 times as long. Take a single check. So that would be basically spending the rest of the day getting absolutely every bit of information that you want to look on whatever specific questions you have.
And obviously, to me, information is the most important thing you can have, and it's forewarned is forearmed. So he doesn't want to lose another protector, and so he's going to make sure he spends time. Then it won't be his fault if something bad happens.
Yeah. So then this is going to be our montage of like you guys here, and then somewhere else, and then talking to some other people. And there's some guy underneath the bridge with an eye patch on who like lifts it up and pulls a coin out, and
yeah, of course.
Yeah. So there is our montage sequence. What is your, with the taking 20, what's the total you got?
That would give me a 28.
28. Give us a 1d4 plus 1 roll, please. Let's see how many hours.
Here we go. 5.
5. So that's 100 hours. So that's what, a little more than 4 days?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're asking around, Alisha. You've been going along with this whole time. You've haven't been back to your barracks whatsoever, but he just continually kept it going. Tell me what things you want to know, and I will try and afford you things as long as they are not being kept from you.
And Dave, feel free to ask whatever questions you have as well, since I feel like we're just constantly conversing as we, go through all these interactions with people. I think since you had some information already about House Odwin, that the first question would be about the Edgewater team and, what they're specifically responsible for, if there's any word on the street as to, some changes in their behavior, that and how big of a team is it? Is it a few people? Is it like a whole
Edgewater team? So the teams are between like 10 and 12 people. They're just sort of, it's a rough name for just a certain group of effectively like stevedores, or the land equivalent of a stevedore, a teamster, I guess. So that kind of role. They just have like, it's sort of like the way that you get yourself in through the apprenticeship is that you are a member of the guild as a larger unit, but like the people who sort of all work together and hire out as a sort of a group are these different teams. Okay. So honestly, there's nothing much of interest. But what you do find is there is a bit of a feeling that they've only been working for one particular group as of late, and that has been House Otwin.
But isn't that conflicting to my knowledge? Like, my common knowledge is that House Odwin doesn't work with these guys.
Well,
definitely not.
That's strange, right? That's the strange element, that they've only been working now with House Odwin.
House Odwin has also, to date, Alisha, they are not the types. They are old school nobles. They do noble shit. They have holdings. They have, whatever. They do not dally in mercantile endeavors. But that seems to be the case, and there is stuff that is being shipped.
Interesting. And I think Alisha had an excellent question. Try to see what we can find out about the Deep Seekers themselves.
So and this is all, you're not able to, this is asking around, so you haven't gone and got first person information yet. This is all third party kind of rumor stuff.
Yeah, rumors, yeah.
Yeah. The Deep Seekers, they're not from here. They are from further to the east. Some say that some of them came from Greyhawk City, and others from elsewhere in that area, across the sea in any event. What they're doing here, they originally came apparently with what their number included, a paladin of Hieronymus. The half-elf was a wizard. There is a woodsman among them, and a priest of Bucharab, god of magic.
Interesting.
Well, Ouijas, I guess, is also the god of magic, but...
I'm in my taking of notes. I know I missed one, which is I got the paladin, I got the half-elf wizard, the priest. There was one in between, though.
The gnome. Oh, the gnome. So there's the paladin of Hieronymus,
Yeah.
who's a half-orc, curiously, a half-elf wizard, a human woodsman.
Right.
Said that they may have been a ranger of the Gnarlywood Forest. And a priest of Bucharab.
Okay.
There was a gnome among their numbers too, but no one seemed to have any idea of what specifically his skill set was.
Interesting. Okay.
What does the gnome look like?
The gnome, short, dark hair, dressed in leathers.
Okay. Not anything like the one we met.
That's what I was
If you ask specifically about it, no. There's
Yeah.
like the hair color is wrong and whatnot. Although Nimrod seemed to appear out of nowhere, so.
Right.
Well, yeah, it's like maybe Nimrod left them, and so first thing she wants to cross off is that Nimrod is feeding us misinformation from, this group, trying to throw us off.
Yeah,
That's good. That's a good question.
you do know that they are camped up in that address that you got. You confirm that. That's where they seem to be keeping, and yeah.
Great. And then did anybody know when they first arrived? How long ago that would have been? Was this a long time
they
ago,
have been
or
operating
recently?
out of there for about 3 months now.
Out of that address.
Out of that address, yeah.
Okay. All right. And did anybody? We had heard. The gnome told us that they had been delving into some deeper areas of the Giants Fall district. Has anybody heard of such places? Of such?
Oh yeah, there's rumors of folks about a year ago, a little more than that, before the plague came, before the legions of Beelzebub. It's sad that there was an adventure group that plumbed down in search of one of their own, and came back telling tales of all sorts of horrors deep in the Underdark.
Okay.
Hey, wait, my dream. That was in Giants Fall, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah. I wonder. Well. Yeah. We'll have to. How big is that district? I mean, is it I actually vaguely remember the maps as we were playing through it.
It's massive, but one thing that you would know from your experience, Bucharab, is it is far too easy. This is the mistake that many of the members of the church made with the Legion of Beelzebub. Because there's a massive gaping wound and it's full of undead, it's easy to just attribute everything to that. And by doing that, they missed the fact that there was a cult totally unrelated to that was boiling up from their midst. It's something you've heard the Man in the Hat talk about.
I see.
Yeah. When you've got a known villain, it's easy to assume that everything that is done by their hand.
Right.
But that's just not the case, and that's partly why he has entrusted you so many times. Investigate, document, and eliminate.
Yeah. And a normal priest would have more of a specialty in undead, but I'm sort of a jack of all trades when it comes to knowledge.
Unsurprisingly, your knowledge of those of the infernal planes has definitely come in handy in the last year.
Okay, cool.
So
I asked, as we're going over, this is taking us a while, so I just asked, those are all my questions I asked. I just check in with Alisha to see if there's anything else that she was wondering about or wanted to know that we could ask people before we move on. And obviously this is going to take us literally all night. I mean, I think we said it was 8 p.m. when we started, when we got to the inn, and then we had the conversation, and then we left. So now it's like going to be
4 days later.
Incredibly late. 4 days later from that, like in the middle of the night. So we'll have to wait till the next. If we're going to wait for daylight, we'll be on day 5.
Yeah. So having got the last of your information, unless there's any other questions you wish to track down, Alisha.
No, I think she's just going to follow Bucharab's lead, and this is a new world for her. She's used to just like, hey, we're going out, we're going to smack some skulls and
Okay. So then what is the plan for next step?
I think it's as simple as I think we should go in daylight to start with. Like first, like dawn, head out over to it's Giants Fall or Giants Fell? Giants Fall?
Giants Fall.
Yeah, find Giants Fall district. Oh no, sorry. The address is not in the Giants Fall district. It's near it. So we'll go. That would be our first stop, I think, is to go there and not just charge up and like knock on the door, but like go there, get the lay of the land, see what's going on, etc.
Do you wish to go daytime, nighttime?
I think we should go. Well, I guess, Alisha, what do you think?
They're normal people. They'll be up during the day.
That's what I would think too.
But if they're doing something nefarious, maybe they want to do it under the cover of night.
Well, we could spend suggesting that we could also go in the daytime, and then if nothing's happening, wait until night and just scope out the place.
Why don't we sleep in?
Okay.
And we'll go late in the day, dinner time, and see what's happening then. And in that way, we have to stay later into the evening to see what's going on.
Ah, yes. I knew you were going to be a good leader.
Okay.
Dude, that was more of a tactical thing. I'm not sure what you mean.
Yes, by tactical. That is what I mean by leader. Tactics. Excellent tactics.
I'm going to change one of my spells, I think.
Yeah. What are you thinking?
I'm going to go with resistance.
Okay.
That's a good one.
So, you do have some time away from one another. Prepare your spells for the evening. You meet up, and this is what you can expect from the region around the Giants Fall district. Fighting was pretty intense up until the area. The Giants Fall barrier has been set up a little further in from it, but a lot of the damage that was done to them has just not been back in with the decimation of the population by the plague. Likewise, it's just the need for that extra space is not there yet. It'll be there in time, but just not yet. So lots of places to squat that are up for grabs and whatnot. Where are you kind of picturing? If you think, just for ease of reference, we'll say that if this building here was the one you were watching.
Yeah.
Tell us sort of where you think you're going to go, and if there's any abilities or spells you wish to take advantage of while either getting yourself set up there or while surveilling your target.
Right. It seems to me, I'm just speaking out of character, but like as we've been having these discussions, that we maybe want to have, we want to be close by, but maybe we want to have some height. Maybe we want to try to find, maybe there's an abandoned building, or we could pay off somebody to let us use a room or something that gives us line of sight.
Yeah, there's nobody to pay off here. If you want to take it, you're welcome to get it.
Okay, that's great. So maybe, we just find some place where we have a line of sight to them, but we get some height so we could be looking down on them. Okay. But that won't take us forever to like rush down if and when we need to do that. And then these are just my suggestions. And then in terms of magic, I do have certain spells that just don't last very long, but let me double, and because you've been playing so many different editions,
which one are you thinking?
The invisibility, how's
invisibility? No, that's a good question. Invisibility.
Some editions it's like 8 hours if you don't attack or do
1 minute per level.
Well, yeah, that's what I thought. It's limited. So that those spells are great, but they're just very circumstantial. Like they just come into play when we absolutely need them. So I don't really have anything that can help out in terms of masking our appearance, like disguise or anything like that. And I also don't have any way to make us completely concealed from anyone. So I don't know if you do that. Alisha.
My spells are both situational as well, so I won't be casting anything.
All right, so we'll just be ready to, if we need to, I'll be ready to cast some invisibility. I have. Oh, and I also have. I have a cool ability called. Where is it? Which one is it? Oh yeah, here it is. No, don't. I have an ability that lets me make other people invisible.
Oh, that's your
here
vanishing
it is.
cloak.
Vanisher cloak. So I have Vanisher cloak, and I can make myself and one ally by spending some couple of charges invisible for 3 rounds. Just if we suddenly we think we got spotted, I could and have us both vanish at least, and kind of get some movement and get to a different location.
Yeah.
So I let you know that's the case in case you see that we've been spotted. And I don't notice it. You can just tell me, and we'll have a trigger word or something, and I'll instantly use the cloak.
So I'm looking at my 3.5 DM screen. Mm-hmm. You know what's on here?
Skills.
Full list of skills, baby.
Yes.
Love it.
They knew what they were doing.
Heck yeah! This is a great fucking screen. Wow, there's everything I would want is on here. Awesome. Wood. You both give us.
I think.
Oh, go ahead, Dave. What are you thinking?
Before we head there, or before we get close, Alicia's like, we make fun of one of our superiors, one of the chapter priests who walks around in his armor all day, because you can hear him coming down the hallway for 50 paces. I'm not that quiet, and my armor's worn and used, but it still glints and shines. And do you think I should take it off?
I don't know if you have to actually take it off, but what you could do is just dirty it up a bit so it doesn't shine so much and call as much attention. We'll still call attention, of course, but I think the protection is probably worthwhile in my, let's just say, my experience in the past with these sorts of situations.
So you mean put mud on it or something?
Yes, basically, or perhaps some other means of just.
So neither of you have crafting, just because I didn't want to waste any skills in that.
I don't have crafting, and I don't have disguise. I don't have anything that can really help you, really.
But you could take it. I think you could take a. This is all pretty common sense stuff. So I think that you could easily take steps to grant a plus. If you're going to keep the armor on, a plus. Does armor check penalty apply to hide as well as move silent? Is there no?
You know what? That is a great question.
It does. It says armor check penalty. So what I'll do is I'll let you ignore the penalty. Basically, you'll do whatever you need to do. It's not going to look great, but you'll be able to ignore the armor check penalty for hide.
Okay, cool. Just not
going to look great.
Moving.
And if I bump into anyone from my order, I will be admonished to no end. So the moment we're done, I have to spend time cleaning, because if I go back to the church like this.
Fair enough. But at least you can go back to the church. That's the key thing here.
Oh yes, right. Unlike your previous.
Yes, they did not make it back, but their armor was clean when they were buried.
Okay. Then why don't Bucharab and Alisha, why don't you each give us a hide check, please, at plus 5 for you, Bucharab, and plus 10 for you, Alisha, just to offset the armor check penalty. And remember to put the plus sign in.
I've only got a -7 on armor check penalty.
Is it -7? Okay, so because you're going to get a plus 5 for other factors on top of it.
Why am I? Yeah, so that's weird. So it didn't give me a option to put in a modifier.
Yeah, there's.
Oh.
I wasn't. No modifier option. So that's
Is
minus
that the
2
case?
is without.
I can't remember with these character sheets. Is there like a toggle you can throw? Hold on, let me. I'll grab an NPC here. I just don't remember.
I'm not.
I guess I could have thrown it in the miscellaneous modifier in the skill line.
Oh yeah, there's actually. Hold on, under the skills tab. Oh, there's a temp modifier you can add in, but that's a bit of a pain in the ass. We can just add it to it.
Okay.
So that's
it
fine.
doesn't even matter based on what I rolled. Look at my first roll. You'll see. Even with a +5.
Why is your...
Because I have a -3.
Why do you have -3? Okay, so your armor, I'm assuming you're going to dirty yours up as well, right?
Yes.
So then you'd ignore that, so that's actually 3 higher, so that's not...
Okay.
So
that's plus. So it's
you would have a total of
plus.
So you'd have a total +8, correct? So that's a 10 in total, and your reroll is a 16.
Yeah.
And then Alisha, yours would have.
Are we re-rolling these, George? Because I ended up.
I did. I re-rolled mine. I spent one of my percentage of fortune. I thought it was worth.
Okay, I'll do the same.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
There you go. Okay. So you guys get yourself up into the position there. You can picture you're sneaking along, doing your very best to try and keep the distance down. One of the upsides is because you're so close to the Giants Fall district that you have at least some background noise coming from within there. One other neat thing is that with the 3.5 rules, every 10 feet gives you a -1 to either a 10 or -5. So like the further away from a target you are, I've converted those over to bonuses for you, and the degree to which they're paying attention also plays a factor. So your +5 is partly the distance, partly their lack of attention.
Oh, awesome! Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty pretty cool.
I like it.
It's a reason also to keep dumping points into those skills over time, right? Because you can offset those penalties.
Yeah.
But
I rolled a 15, so with my armor check penalty, that's
+12. That's a 22 on your reroll then, Alisha, because we ignore your armor check penalty is 7 +5 more for the situational factors. So that's
sweet.
Yeah, I'm using the same thing that from PF2 where you just set a DC 10 rather than doing contested rolls. 10 plus whatever their target number is. That's what you're rolling against.
Yeah. I actually really like that about PF2. I've used that too in other games.
Yeah, it's just because I don't give a shit what I roll. I give a shit what you roll, and because we're playing with narrative meta currency, that allows you to affect that and choose when to re-roll those. So
and it's instead of having 2 sets of random elements, you just kind of reduce it to 1, and then we have a better sense of
precisely
how bad or well we did.
Exactly. So you guys get yourself set up in there, and tell me how you guys go about keeping watch and keeping quiet. I think you see shadows moving in the windows in the second floor at one point, so you're fairly confident people are in there shortly after you arrive, but it'll be dark soon.
I think if we can, it looks like most of these windows are kind of broken out in some way or other. Kind of try to find some planks or something to kind of close up the window just to leave a narrow gap that we can see out of, so it'd be harder to see us inside.
Yep.
Obviously, we're not having any light sources. Is there moonlight? I guess when we get to nighttime, depending on what's happening, if there's enough moonlight to see by, that's one thing.
There will be moonlight
not, we'll
tonight, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think for the moment, I won't do anything with light. And then, I think maybe we'll just take turns, or what do you think? Yeah, Dave?
So
I think we switch off.
Like every hour or something. Yeah.
Yeah, quite frequently, because at least having had to be on watch in the past as a new member of the order, being on watch, your attention is difficult to hold focused for more than like half an hour or an hour. After that, it's really easy to slip up.
Cool. Sounds good to me.
So there's a moment where Bucharab is trading over for watch, And it's been 5 days you've been following this old guy around, doing stuff that you have never done before, in places in town you've never been before, hearing from people that you would never think of speaking to for information. Does Alisha have any question for Bucharab that she's been sitting on, that now that you have a moment to, with nothing else other than to watch, does she have any question to ask him?
How do you get involved in this? This isn't some kind of job you just they post on the board and you go and say, hey, yeah, I want to hunt down evil conspiracies and stop terrible things from happening.
Yes, you are very insightful. No, it was not something I even sought out in any way. I said I was a librarian, and I was not joking. I'm very fascinated by knowledge of all types. And that means I did go out into the world. I did not sit behind a desk all of the time, just reading from ancient scrolls and whatnot, but I interacted with people. And when the scourge began, and fellow archivists began becoming involved, I kind of remained in the background, trying to piece all of the information they collected together. But one by one, they've started to not come back. And eventually, I realized I needed to step up and participate in a more direct way. Whatever the cost, these were my friends. And I need to honor them by taking over when they have fallen. So it was a...
Alabaster kind of flits over and lands on your shoulder and kind of like...
Thankfully, I've had a good friend here to see me through these times. But I am happy now that I have made this choice. I think it maybe was what I should have been doing all along. But at least I'm here to do it now.
And am I correct in thinking that Bucharab's saying this whole thing while his eyes are trained on the building?
Oh yeah, I have not taken my one eye off the building. I am like talking, and he's Alicia's like he's back here somewhere, and my Raven's on the one of the shoulders.
Oh. And
what about you? It seems that it sounds like you have very little experience in these matters.
I've spent the last close to 5 years in the city offering aid after the plague, after the war, and clearing Giant's Fall. Well, clearing. We like to think we're clearing Giant's Fall District, but we know that's not true. At least we don't discuss it openly, that we're not making a dent in the problematic population, but that's most of my focus has been aiding others and clearing the undead for the most part. I've only recently received an invitation from our mysterious man in the hat. So this is new to me, and I'm still gauging. I'm still trying to figure out if what we're doing is more impactful on the people and the city. And I guess only time will tell on that. We'll see how much of an impact what we're doing now has versus what I've done in the past.
Well, I would agree that is an excellent philosophical question, which we may not know the answer to for some time. But I can say that you clearly have been involved. Oh, did you hear that?
Alisha, you heard nothing.
No.
I spin in whatever direction I feel like I heard something.
It's the building.
The building we're
You're
in?
staring down at there. No, the building you've been
down,
watching.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I heard a scream. A man. It was screaming. It sounded like.
You hear it once again.
Oh God,
exact...
it hurts. Oh, there it is again.
And then
Did we not hear
Bucharab,
it?
what you see, a spectral, armored half-orc steps through, wearing the accoutrements of a, plate-wearing paladin, steps through the wall, out, grabbing his head. Oh, God, it hurts! Oh! And you know precisely what this is.
And I think I'll say, I fear your dream has come true.
You look down, Alisha, you don't see anything down there. Let's take our mid-session break, and then we'll see what Bucharab and Alisha do next. So,
here we go.
For those listening at home, we'll be back in about 5 minutes. All right. Okay. Well, my doofus dog didn't want to come in until her feet were too cold to move again, and then was like, "Oh my god, I can't move!" Like, why are you making me go in the snow to get you?
That's funny. I'm literally, for us, it's like it's definitely been cooler than usual.
Yeah.
But usually during the middle of the day, we have light coming in from this, basically sun gets to a point where it's coming streaming in through all the windows and like makes this room like ridiculously hot, and I have to like close all the shades and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's been cool enough today that I'm like, oh man, I actually need to have the windows open for once. So and the heat has been too odd.
That's the backyard.
Oh yeah,
right
okay.
Now.
Yep. Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez. We are.
Yep.
What is it? Let's see.
Right now it's actually only -1, so it's only like it's not that cold out, but when you're out there and you're burying your ball in snow over and over again, dozes get cold phone.
Yeah.
What's 0 30?
We
freezing.
are.
Yeah. What?
Let's see. What is it? It is. Okay, it did it backwards. What? No, I want it the other way. 22.
Yeah, it's about 30 Fahrenheit here.
22.
30, wow. Okay. Yeah. So here it's 22 Celsius.
That's warm. Yeah.
Yeah. It's 73 Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
But last week it was literally high 80s. So whatever that gets up to.
We had 22 to give it. This is a non-sequitur, but
26.
my parents have kept the house at 20 degrees Celsius for the entire time we were kids, and we give a shit when we make it too warm. And because they're old now, they've forgotten that. So their house is fucking 22 degrees inside. So every time I go over, I'm like, oh my god! I'm like, can we please open a fucking window? Because it is so hot and uncomfortable in here.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
You. We've had that like for 2 weeks in straight, just outside.
Yeah.
So I mean, and that's abnormal. This temperature right now is much closer to normal. I mean, it actually gets. We don't technically get down as low as you are right now until maybe late February, and then the low for the day might be that low. That is now for you, but just once in a while.
Yeah, I've got Halloween decorations in the fence. I put them in the players' Discord chat, and it's like there's like Halloween decorations on the lawn, and now there's snow. So it's like really weird kind of combination of like dark Halloween and puffy white snow.
Yeah.
So, and is this temperature normal for this time of year for you guys?
It's a bit of a. It's a crapshoot. If you grew up in the Canadian prairies as a kid, your Halloween costumes were always planned to fit over parkas if you need to. So,
especially living in Winnipeg.
Especially living in Winnipeg, yeah.
In New York, it was basically right in between what it is here and what it is there.
Oh yeah.
So for Halloween, so we always are like, how much? We needed some kind of jacket, but it's like, what level of jacket do we need?
Yeah. And we could get, we've had a really extended fall summer, so it's been really lovely here for quite some time. So can't really complain about this now.
Oh,
but
nice.
It's going to be melted. We get the Chinooks coming in Calgary, so it's going to be positive. It'll be 15 degrees Celsius here come Wednesday. So, snow will melt again, and we'll be fine.
Right.
Yeah.
But in any event,
hell on your shoes though. You get like in that spring slushy period that everybody gets in like March in the prairies. It's like we get them like every couple of weeks. It's like snow melts, everything gets slushy and gross.
And the freeze, and because of the freeze as well too. Like that's a not insignificant amount of my practice is slip and fall shit, where people, because it thaws during the day, freezes at night, and it's just a cycle you go through. So you have to religiously be applying, ice melt and shit like that. And if you don't do that, then someone gets sued, and
right,
yeah. But anyway.
Yeah, you guys seem to be right in the middle of the two, constantly varying what I'm used to going for work to either Vancouver or Toronto in the winter.
Yeah.
Like Vancouver, basically no snow once in a while.
Yeah.
Toronto, fucking crazy.
Yeah, tons of snow, exactly.
And freezing and Like,
Yep.
I'm like, please get me out of here.
That's about right.
Um,
All right, so when we left things, you heard that scream. Now, just so Dave's aware, there is a feat that Bucharab has that allows him to see the spirits of the departed. However, it is only for a very limited period of time. So,
Yeah.
Bucharab, you know that that's the case. So you might be in your mind working through like, okay, how fucking long? When did I hear that scream? Because it was a scream that you can also hear from, which means that there is less than 3 minutes left before the spirit will be gone to your sight. So, guys,
okay,
what do you want to do?
So I turn to Alisha and say, I think I recognize that she wouldn't be able to
definitely
see this thing,
no
right?
one else.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no one else has your gifts like this that you've adventured with before, so you're used to being like.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I say, Alisha, I saw something only one like myself can see, but it's important. It's a spirit, and it must have died soon. And I could speak to it, but I only have a limited time. I must rush down there and try to interact with it. I do not know if you wish to accompany me or stay up here. Whatever you think is best tactically is fine with me. But I must go. Very well. All right. So we'll book down there.
So what are you going to do? Are you just going to leap down from the?
No.
thing,
I'll try to. I mean, obviously, I don't want to lose sight of it, but I'm gonna have to if I go down through whatever stairwell or something we came up through.
Okay.
So I think I have to take the chance, but I'll move at my high, as quickly as I can get down.
Through the house again, or out the balcony?
Well, at the balcony, how far? I guess how high up are we? Is the
Looks
question.
to me like you are about. What is that? I think 10 feet, maybe.
Maybe 12?
Yeah, maybe. It's not all that high. Like,
I'll jump down. Jump over the edge.
Okay.
Let's go.
So, Alicia, why don't you give us a jump check, please?
Jump. Oh, I'm jumping in full plate. This will be fun.
Goodbye, knees. All right. So that is.
She jumps, and then as she's realized, I'm still wearing armor.
Let's see here. You take fall damage as if you had. If you succeed the check, you take fall damage as if you had dropped 10 feet fewer than you actually did. So you did fall 10 feet, basically. What is? Let's see here. Fall.
D6. It's a D6.
Oh, you know what? Hold up, guys. I specifically set this aside. My rules compendium.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I love this thing.
I have to get another drink because Kev's got more books coming. And...
Oh, I got a
Exactly.
I got a stack of books sitting next to me here for this. Actually, not for 3 really not that many, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
1d6 damage. Oh, so you hit the ground with a sound. Bucharab, you've just seen Alisha launch herself off of the side there.
I guess I'm gonna have to do the same.
She landed pretty hard.
I know. I know that she can't see this thing.
Yeah.
So, and I'm really fearful that it'll lose track of it, and by the time I get downstairs through the house, it'll have disappeared in some way. So I'm gonna take the chance. I know that I have healing magics, so
she kind of Al just like wow, takes up into the air. Go ahead and give us either a jump or a tumbling check.
All right. Well,
that's a nat 1. Oh, by the way, guys,
I know.
You each get 2 points of astonishing fortune back.
Okay, so that I still had 1, so that gives me 3, which is great. Let me just see if my tumble is better because I might do that instead. I didn't even. Yeah. I was clicking before.
Jump uses strength. Tumbling uses dex.
They're the same. Yeah.
Oh, is it okay?
Yeah, it's the same.
So do you want to re-roll that, or you want to take the?
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna
and also, we actually haven't in Night Below in general. We don't play with critical fails, so I'm not gonna interpret them or force them in this game.
Well, I had 3 astonishing fortune anyway, so I just have 2 left. So I'll take the 1 instead of the -2.
Go ahead and give us a 1d6 roll.
Yeah, here we go. 1.
No, so you land. The two of you fall kind of next to each other. You look up, and on kind of that stone platform, walking forward, right here. Yeah, it's just it's still screaming out. Alisha, you have no idea what Bucharab is listening for, but why don't you give us a listen check? Let's see if there is anything that you pick up. Because your wisdom, I think, is quite good.
It's the sound crossing over from the void.
Sweet.
So there's 2 things you hear. That's amazing. Alisha, you hear a smash from a window up here. Whoopsies, that's not a pointer. Up here.
Okay.
And you hear what sounds like a throaty growl. Inarticulate. From up there. It's muffled enough so it's not like super loud. It's the fact that you just happen to hear it in a moment of silence here.
Yeah. She's like, a growl from the 2nd floor. And then she bolts forward.
Okay, so you all leap up. All right, so you go racing forward towards, what, the door, I guess?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is where she's hoping that Bucharab is like, yes, this is time of action. This is where we move forward and do things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Okay, let's see.
I understand this part of the mission.
Okay, so you jump up and we'll go racing forward. Bucharab, what do you do?
I look around. So I'm gonna get to my feet. I'm gonna look around for the specter.
It's still like almost directly in front of you. You can picture you fell just like to the just right here-ish, and it is standing on the edge and seemingly grabbing its head and like wailing in agony.
Okay. I'm gonna. I can't remember in 3.5. Does it take your whole? It takes your whole action to stand up and prone. I believe.
I think it's your whole move action.
Your whole move action.
Yeah.
Sorry. So I'll just, instead of trying to, well, actually, yeah. I'll use my action as a move as well to close on it, and I'll be holding my staff before me as I get closer and say, Spirit, let me aid you.
Okay, so we're going to check in on you in a second.
Yeah.
Alisha, why don't you give us a strength check, please? Because that door seems to be locked. If you want to get through that door, you're going to have to smash it open.
Can I smash it with a mace instead?
You could, yeah, absolutely. Just that mace is not optimized for
Smashing doors?
Yeah, necessary for smashing doors. So to smash, because like instead of breaking the door, you're trying to break. Ideally, I think you're just breaking whatever lock is holding it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right? I see what you mean. Yeah, I don't think she'd use her mace on that. I think she'd throw her body at it first to see if that worked, and then if not, maybe try something else.
Yeah. So then this is going to be older too. So with a running start, I'll give you a +2 to it. So that's an 11. That's not quite. So you throw yourself against the door the first time. You can hear it creak. It's not as strong as what this door may have once been, but you'll be able to try again next round.
Sure.
Or do you want to? Yeah, you could Astonishing Fortune that if you'd like, or you can wait till next round.
That's only a 6. No, I think she'll just wait and try again.
Okay. So you stagger back. Bucharab, would you kindly give us a I think it's diplomacy, right?
That sounds right. Yep, here it is. 22.
Holy shit. So what do you say as this thing is, wailing and trying to...
I say, I am here to help put you at rest in exchange for information.
Okay. So hold on. What we're going to do is I'm going to start my timer. We probably have about 2 minutes.
Okay.
So let's roleplay this out.
Yep.
Okay, and starting now.
Who are you?
I am I am... Oh... He looks at you. It's going to get them, too. It's going for them.
What's going to get them?
It killed... Oh, it killed us all. It's gonna get them,
What killed you
too.
all? What killed you all?
The enemy. The enemy.
What is the nature of this enemy?
It opposes us. A rival for the Black Star. Oh. Oh. And as it's talking to you, you can see blood is beginning to form around the sides of its head and it's beginning to go down as if its head is being crushed in.
What is this Black Star you speak of?
It is the wondrous bringer of change. The bringer of the end. Transformation. Annihilation. It comes.
And you were worshipping this or working with the Black Star?
A millennia. We have waited for its birth and its arrival. It comes.
Who is the rival?
I'm pausing, so
Yep.
look notes here.
That's good. I'm taking notes here, so I appreciate the pause.
Shathragat, Herald of the Black Star, I have failed you. It will undo us all.
What will undo you, the Black Star or something else?
The jealous rivals. Oh, it hurts. And then its head seemingly explodes in a viscera.
Did he say
blood.
chalice? Is that what he said?
What did he say?
Chalice? Is that what he said? I didn't hear the end for when he... Okay. Okay. That's fine. As long as
So
I
it-
know that I didn't hear it. Yeah.
Disappears. And you think you can hear wailing from within Bucharab.
I will...
The kind only you can hear.
Oh. In the same spot where Alisha just rushed into?
She's Alisha.
Second
We're going to go
floor,
back to
she
Alisha.
said.
Alisha's going to get 2 more tries against the door before before our time is up here. Actually, more than that.
But she yelled to me that something in the second... She heard something on the second floor.
No.
Is that where I'm
You
also
heard
hearing this?
a scream. You hear screaming on the second floor of the spectral variety.
Okay. All right.
As
so
soon as
I'm
this guy
gonna-
disappears, you kind of realize what's happening. The time
Yeah.
seems to be running with someone else up there.
All right.
So,
when I
Alisha,
catch up
that
to
is good enough, Alisha.
yeah.
Your second go, you're through.
Now, it was when Bucharab is having this conversation, is it internal or is he speaking it out loud? And
Yeah,
the
he's speaking
spirit
out
echo
loud,
hears him?
talking to someone who's not there.
So I can hear him having a one-sided conversation. I can hear one side of the conversation
Exactly.
and him like, "What's the Black Star?" And I'm like, "What? What's
Yeah,
he?"
like you would jump over and he'd smash the door open, and then you can hear him talking. What you would see first, while Bucharab is still talking to himself, there are 3 bodies on the floor. And each of them, horrible claw marks on the small broken body of the gnome, crushing of armor on the armored, you're not sure, it's a big body, and there is a woman's body in bloodied robes, but their head seems to be missing.
All their heads missing?
No, of the one with the robes, the head is just exploded. The body of the heavily armored figure, I say you can't tell because something has torn half of the head open, and the brain seems to be missing. And the gnome, likewise, it seems to have had its head torn open as well. So you see all of this. Do you think that would make... She's immune to fear whatsoever, which is what would include traumatic reaction because of her paladin status. Do you think she would jump into action? And as you're looking it over, you can hear Bucharab talking seemingly to himself.
Yeah. Well, he's talking, but he's like asking questions and stuff, which is kind of weird because...
Yeah.
So
and I think what you hear then is that because you rolled that nat 20 on the creek, you can hear something very heavy is moving on the second floor.
yeah, she will. She's like, you said, Bucharab, there's bodies in here. She's like trying to get us.
You're trying to say something. And Bucharab, you tell me, George, how is he reacting while someone is talking over him, trying to talk to the spirit?
I'm just like,
Okay, and then it's gone, and you can see Alisha is standing in the doorway, and you can see the ruin of what is standing before her. 3 bodies there of the seemingly 5 companions.
Okay, I'll join her.
Okay, and then she's like, there's something upstairs, and there's a bunch of dead people here. I'm going to cast Bless.
I shall protect myself as well. I'm going to cast Mage Armor.
What does your Bless look like? And what does your Mage Armor look like as you activate them?
I think mine is sort of like a kind of misty, a white mist sort of like appears around him and then gets sucked back into his body.
So, Mage Armor gives you what, +5?
That's what I was just going to look up because
the reason I ask is that you
+4, I believe.
You're actually wearing. Archivist can wear at least light, I think maybe medium armor as well.
Yes, it doesn't. It doesn't say on the sheet what kind of. Well, I'm looking at the PDF.
On the second page should be near the top. It'll say either it's masterwork or it's enchanted.
Oh yeah, sorry, masterwork chainmail.
Okay.
Oh yeah, so it's yeah, so it's only that's more than mage armor would do for me. So yeah, so I would not do that.
So what does your bless look like, Alisha?
It starts off as just a small amber glow from her holy symbol, and it starts to build, and then just boom, spreads out, burst of 50 feet.
Okay.
And the amber goes through all her allies, and then they glow briefly, and then it fades away.
Okay. So you have +1 to hit and +1 to saving throws against fear, right?
Yeah, on morale bonus on attack rolls and saving throws versus fear.
Nice. All right. So what do you do next? There is a single, like a narrow staircase that leads up, winding around to the second floor.
She's like,
could I? Oh, sorry. Could I have instead cast protection from evil?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, that is what I will do.
What does your protection from evil look like?
I think it's an orb of white energy appears in my hand, and then it goes out to the maximum of its effect, which I think is 10 feet.
Okay, so
check it.
It can be. Let's hear. The spell wards a creature from attacks. Subject gains +2 deflection bonus to AC, +2 resistance to saves against creatures from effects from evil creatures. Blocks any attempt to possess the warded creature or to exercise mental control, but it doesn't end existing effects. Yeah. And prevents bodily contact by summoned creatures. Okay.
Yeah, awesome. So it's just affecting me, but it goes out around my body.
Yeah.
A couple
and it's a different,
or whatever.
Different type of bonus though. It's deflection.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And mine's morale bonus, so you get both.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. Great. Okay,
yeah.
fantastic.
Although your deflection bonus, I think, is what your magic armor would grant you. Your shield.
Yeah, and that. Yeah.
Yeah, the nature of magical bonuses are deflection bonuses for armor.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's still, but a +2 is better than the +1. I think no one's got any magical weapons or armor that's better than +1, so a +2 is better.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. So, all right. So then, what do you guys do next? You can still hear the wailing upstairs of that spirit.
Yeah. So she draws her mace, and there's got to be a stairwell somewhere.
Yeah.
So she charges through the.
Okay. So you start making your way. Tell us what it's like as you approach, the second floor. Shield up. Are you charging in? Are you cautiously going in?
I think it's moving at a quick pace, but shield up. And she's going to stop at wherever she thinks the noise is coming from, like if it's a door.
So once you get to the second floor, it goes up and it enters into a second room. There's one long room that looks out into this courtyard. And the first thing you see is the busted corpse, head broken open, and brain removed from the what looks to be a slim robed figure. And then the final one is a man dressed in what looks to be the kind of traveling clothes that you'd expect from a woodsman or a hunter, and you can see there's a distinctive oak clasp that the rangers of the Gnarlywood Forest have. And that is around his neck. His head, likewise, a ruin. So that's what you see, Alisha. Bucharab, as you get up here, you can see the spirit of a half-elven woman on the ground weeping, and there is a spirit of a human man who is comforting her.
And is he the one dressed in the woodsman?
He cuts a very... ranger-esque. Yeah.
Okay. And no other spirits. I scan. It's just the two that
you look around, and it's just the two remaining. Yeah. So if the others were killed, they must have been killed, and the bodies lost before. These were the last two ones.
And I know how little time there is because it's 3 minutes from when they've died that I can speak to them, so I just immediately rush up and I'll like move past Alisha if I have to get to them. What happened? What happened to you?
Why don't you give us a diplomacy check again, please?
Alrighty. There it is. Let's see. 26.
6. They look up, and the woman, her spectral eyes are just full of tears streaming down her face, and she just says, "It hurts so much."
I can see that. What made you hurt so much? What did this to you?
They betrayed us, and they've come. The Black Star. We will never see the Black Star now. And it will hunt the others.
Who has caused you never to see the Black Star again?
Those that lurk below. They have betrayed us. They wish the glory only for themselves. The Brotherhood. The Black Brotherhood must know, and they must avenge us.
Tell me more so I can make sure your vengeance is carried out. Who are these that lurk below?
Those... They are the ones who did this. They... She passes.
Yeah, okay.
The ranger is still here. Give us a quick diplomacy check.
Yeah.
She seems to have died first, moments before him.
Gotcha. Here we go. 13.
You want to hero point that, or something force that?
Yeah, I've got two left. Here we go. 19.
What do you say to him?
Vengeance must be carried out. I can see that, but I do not know exactly who it is that it must be carried out against. What can you tell me about those that lurk below? What do they look like? What race are they? Who do they represent? What is their name?
So he gives you a description of what it is that is down there very quickly, and then he likewise fades away.
Bucharab,
would you give us a quick... which one is it? That is knowledge. Oh, thank God I brought the book with me. Yeah!
Mm-hmm.
Knowledge? Dungeoneering, please. There's a baseline you're going to know.
Okay. 21.
That's pretty darn good. So they... He calls them the Eaters. And he gives a rough description of their terrible forms. Nothing but stunning and writhing tentacles. Horrific tearing beaks. And a body akin to a cephalopod. But you have read of them. Scholars say that these things call themselves Grell.
Yeah.
So you maybe only say that single word after a bit of silence, and Alisha, you're like... Well, actually, Alisha, do you have knowledge dungeoneering at all?
No.
No? Okay. So you have no frame of reference for what she's talking about, but what happens next, guys? Alisha, actually, while you're up here, you can see in the blood, there is a huge clawed footprint. As if something stepped in the ruin that it wrought, stepped elsewhere, and then somehow vanished.
Yeah, I don't think she's got any, Oh, she has heal. So maybe she could be, well, she's looking at the bodies, trying to figure out cause of death, if they've...
Yeah, it'll give us a heal check, absolutely. There's going to be a baseline amount of information you know from this, but...
Yeah, like what could cause a head to do that kind of damage? Or what could do that kind of damage to, and based on the claw that she saw?
Yeah.
Oh!
Hell yeah. Okay, so here's a couple things. The claw you saw, 2 toes, massive talons on them. What you can see, there are horrific claw marks on one side of these things. It's not like a hand with an opposable thumb that can easily grasp around and then clutch. It's almost like something that could cup around and then just pop a skull. Imagine the strength required for that. And in fact, if you look up in here, because of the low ceiling in here, there are fresh scratch marks where something's massive back has pushed up against and worn away some of that old wood in the beams. Only on a single point, too. Not sharp, but like... I'm trying to think what something that, like, if you had smashed a cart underneath something with a cover, and it smashed along, that maybe might be here. But yeah, something titanic that was not safely in this room, taller than 7 or 8 feet at the crest, has smashed along here, left this one footprint, and left horrible claws with gigantic hands. The hands were certainly large enough to easily wrap around a human-sized head, and was even able to pop open seemingly that half-orc.
Wow.
There was also no sign of where this thing fucking went. There's no exit in here. There's no smashed window. You're looking at the top. If it's as big as what you think, like, how the hell did it get out of here?
I think she'll point that out to Bucharab. She's like, whatever did this was huge. You see the damage on the ceiling. But how did it get out? The door's intact, the window's intact.
Alisha, none of these things, none of these beings put up a fight at all. There's not a single sign, because you rolled really well on that. There's not a single sign of resistance. It's as if they stood and let this happen.
It didn't fight back? Why didn't they fight back?
Bucharab,
Bucharab?
you can give us a knowledge planes check. There's a baseline amount of information that you can get just based on your reading of that nat 20 you got on reading the dreams from before.
And I think as Alisha was first talking and whatever, I was in that kind of same, since we already had a Lord of the Rings reference, in that same moment when Gandalf is smoking his pipe by the fire and going, riddles in the dark.
Yeah, love it. Holy shit. You know that many of the powerful denizens of the infernal realms can easily vanish and reappear.
I'll convey that to Alisha. We are clearly dealing with those from deep below and the other planes of evil.
If you're looking at the markings too, the growl, the Underdark, and what's gone on here, you've heard, or I should say read, of such a fiend. Something that is thought of as a soldier among its kind. But it has horrific gifts in what scholars call the invisible arts. Not magic, but ways of the mind. This thing can change its location at will, and it has terrible gifts from its dark creators that allow it to seize control of minds, cause you to see hallucinations, tear apart your very thoughts, delve you into madness, or just lock down so you can do nothing but observe. All of these things you see around you, this all fits with such a thing. Such things do not act on their own. They have masters, and they are sent for a task.
Do they come here on their own? Do they have to be summoned, or?
Such things typically must be summoned, but once in this realm, they can cover hundreds of leagues in an eye, the blink of an eye. So, if there is some dark master deep below, it would be as strolling to your lawn for this thing to come here. But, so Bucharab, how do you communicate that to Alisha?
I have learned much from all these spirits, and from what you have told me. I'm trying to weave all these things together to make sense of them. But yes, you are right. It is an infernal creature, and it is one that specializes in powers of the mind. So it is not surprising that these adventurers could not fight back. Their minds may have been paralyzed, preventing them from acting.
Bucharab, when you look up, there is something else you see. The rafters being damaged is the thing that Alisha notices. When you look up and you see further beyond that, you can see what your companion may have easily mistaken as a whorl in the wood or something further. You can see it. It is the...
Better about not be Thor's.
Another book. Yes, another book.
It is!
Marked on the ceiling You need not make a roll for it.
I know I don't. Look, I got one right here.
For you, Mark, this is the sign of the Elder Eye.
And that kind of hits me. Like, I'm just like, I'm almost staggered.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm kind of looking up, too.
Repeated all over the place in here.
Oh, shit.
Like, the ceiling is full of these fucking markings.
All right, and I just say, the Elder Eye.
And Alisha, you need not make a religion check. You know that, like, what the fuck did you just say? And if you look up, you realize that you can't quite see terribly well. If you activate your lantern, you will see precisely what Bucharab did.
Not sure I want to see it, but I will.
It's all over the ceiling. Like, that one guy was wearing the armor of and the markings of Hieronymus. The other was wearing the robes of Bucharab.
Right.
The worship of the chained god is not compatible with either of those. These were either false devotees of those gods or imposters.
And just so I'm clear on the body count, the half-orc was outside. Then, the specter, the first specter? Is that a half-orc?
First specter you saw was outside.
Yeah,
two more upstairs. You didn't see the other two, so they may have died before you heard the scream.
Oh, right. But we don't see the body. But we see all 5 bodies total now?
3 downstairs, 2 upstairs.
Okay. Making sure I didn't miss one. Okay, great. That's what I had in my notes, but I want to make sure. Okay, so I this is far worse than I anticipated, and I've seen much in my time. The Elder Eye is incredibly powerful. It must have sent this thing, this Grell here, as one of its servants. For what reason, I do not know, but...
Well, whatever came here, the Grell are not infernal creatures. They are aberrations.
Okay, right.
For the players who don't know, I should say, let me show you what a Grell looks like.
And the Grell is what they were referring to when they said the Eaters. That's what he was describing.
Yeah, that's what he was referring to, is that their enemies, the Eaters, were the Grell. Grell, let's see here. They're pretty fucking awesome. So, that is what a Grell looks like.
Oh yeah, it's great. Yep, awesome. Very horrifying.
Yeah, wonderful creature. I'm gonna bring one home for Christmas.
So I also would say to Alisha, have you heard of? They kept talking about the Black Star. This is something you have heard of. Some entity.
Give us a religion check, Alisha. You're gonna have a baseline understanding, but again, like, to see how much more you know.
The Black Star?
Yes, it was. Yes.
So the Black Star, you don't know, at least not if he's mentioned the Elder Eye. You don't know what he's referring to as far as the Black Star, but it cannot be good. There was another word that he used as well that you didn't recognize.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's one thing he said something I did not understand, but he also mentioned the Black Brotherhood, and I have gathered that some entities that lurk below betrayed the party. Maybe the Eaters.
Brotherhood. Alisha, you give us a knowledge nobility check, and Bucharab, I think it might be religion for you. The religion one's going to be a little higher, DC.
Okay. Yeah.
But, oh wow. So both of you guys, both of you would be aware. Alisha, just through your, what you've come across, I guess, in the course of dealing with the threats, one of the things that has happened since the Greyhawk Wars has been that the Scarlet Brotherhood which was once a secretive Seul supremacist organization from the far south, ancient saying to date back to the time of the Twin Devastations, it has been acting openly and seizing control of several of the nations along the southern coast, some coming very close to falling to the Scarlet Brotherhood. What you know, Alisha, is that within their number, the Scarlet Brotherhood, there appears to be an extremist faction called the Black Brotherhood. What they intend and what they... you think that they are... Where the Scarlet Brotherhood seems to be paying homage to the ancient Sulis gods, including Ouijas, the Black Brotherhood are devotees of the Elder Eye, something not truly a god.
Oh,
and
so
Bucharab,
like that's like Nox.
well, you would
know
know
what you're talking about.
Bucharab, you would be able to basically pick up all of that as well, and you would also know that the god to which the Black Brotherhood has sworn, the Black Brotherhood is not, at least you're aware of at least one incident where the Black Brotherhood is openly at odds with the Scarlet Brotherhood. So they don't seem to be, while they're those who happen to know about this very secretive order of the Black Brotherhood, they know that they worship something a little different. What you know is that there is a rift between the two. They seem to be working towards different goals. What you do know is that none of these 5 that are dead here, there is any indication, none of them are Sulis, none of them should be members of the Black Brotherhood, but if they are, like their parent organization, they are phenomenal liars.
Interesting.
Scarlet Brotherhood.
Can we figure out who died first?
The first who died was the gnome. You were the 29 in your heal check from before. First to die was the gnome. The second was the priest of Bucharab, followed by the paladin. And you know, like, there is a, if this person was truly a paladin, although maybe they weren't, they were imposters, the power of your god bolsters your strength. So either this guy wasn't actually a paladin, in which case wouldn't have that extra, the strength of your gods, fortifying your spirit and your will, or whatever it was that did afflict his mind is so powerful that the armor afforded to paladins by their gods was still not enough to resist.
Is there a way, Bucharab, do you think that we could check? Maybe we can't tell if they're have recently cast spells, or is there a way to is there like a way to detect the magic of something that's past? I don't know, you do some weird things, but
I do. That's an interesting way of putting it.
sorry, I didn't mean to offend.
No offense taken. I never take offense to anything.
Unorthodox is what I meant to say. Unorthodox way.
Interesting too. I mean, detect magic. I don't think it detects lingering.
No, I'm just quickly reading through. Like,
magic.
you concentrate up to 3 rounds, gets you the biggest. It's a strength and location of existing auras of magic.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's
So
not.
what if
really
what if we search the bodies? If someone's a devotee of...
Oh, but here we go. The original strength, there is a lingering aura.
Okay.
If detect magic is cast and directed at such a location, depending on the strength, if it's faint magic, it could last as little as like up to 36 seconds. If it's strong or overwhelming magic, we're talking tens of minutes or days even.
So maybe we can find out either through magic or through mundane. It sounds like magic, we have a short window. Maybe we should try that first, but then searching through their possessions. We can search through their possessions and see if we find someone's carrying a stone with the Elder Eye on it, maybe. Or...
There is a great deal of paper in here. Like there are in amongst the gore, there are papers, and there's like a writing desk, and there's like these people clearly have been camping out here for months now.
Well, I know much about religion and nobility, so I will start searching through papers and documents and people's possessions.
So there's actually a search skill in 3.5.
Yeah, it's not a spot check, but it's a search.
Let's see here. The reason I mention is because you can always, let's see. I think you can take
10?
20 on it, yeah.
Take 20?
Let's see here.
Oh, yeah, because there's no danger. Well, unless there is a danger.
Unless there are traps, yeah. That will not... So you can find secret doors, simple traps, hidden compartments, and other details not readily apparent. So this is actually something a little different than what I was thinking. It's not... I think your skills that you were suggesting, Alisha, you could make use of that. Yeah, search is less like trying to find a specific thing and more like finding hidden stuff. And maybe there is something hidden here as well, Alisha, but your call.
I think she's going to search through the notes and see if there's anything there religious that might indicate someone was summoning or working towards some plan.
Yeah. What languages do you speak as well?
Common, Sul, and where's my PDF?
Let's see here.
Common, Goblin, and
you
Sul.
do speak Sul. Okay, great.
Although I think it's Common, Halfling, and Sul, not Goblin.
Oh, okay. So then, Bucharab, while Alisha's looking through this stuff, what do you wish to do?
I'll do it. I will cast a detect magic, considering there may be some, powerful magic that had been at work here.
Yeah.
So it might be something.
So, what? Why don't you give us a spellcraft roll? Do you have spellcraft? I can't remember.
Okay. I do have spellcraft.
Okay, great. Is that sort of your
24.
Amazing! Holy smokes! So it is as you thought. What you can see is it's very fucking weird, and as the invisible art always is. It's just such an unusual and different way of interfacing with power. Totally foreign to you, and that is precisely what has been manifested here. There was something that was used to control these and afflict these figures here. And then there was powerful teleportation magic used. It's as you suspected. Whatever that demonic terror of the invisible art was, it completed its terrible work here and then vanished elsewhere.
Any signs of what we did when we entered, like blesses or resistances or protections?
Those would
from
be
evil?
gone. Your spells would have technically been faint, which means they would have been gone within, at the most, 36 seconds.
So yeah, we wouldn't have seen it.
Yeah. So this is the way that it classifies the things is like faint, moderate, strong, and overwhelming. Faint is 3rd level spells or less. Moderate is 4 to 6, and strong is 7 to 9. This would be a moderately powerful effect of the invisible art, and you're able to precisely know that and distinguish it. But the teleportation was not the invisible art. That was demonic magic. And Alisha, what you find, you can read actually a fair amount of this because of your proficiency with ancient Sul. There is what was the roll for religion for? Because didn't you?
Because I was.
Yeah, you already rolled nobility, didn't you?
Oh, I did already. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, what you can tell, Alisha, there is whoever is communicating with one another between the Edgewater team, the Deep Seekers and House Otwin, it's, for one, it seems like it's only one person in House Otwin. It's not the entire place, because it's one person who's coming up over and over again in this stuff. But the way that they are talking to one another and what they're talking about, it's, for one, much of the stuff that you see in the rantings of the spirits to Bucharab about the Black Sun and, you know, something called Shothragot. And it seems like the three, for one, the people who are writing the letters that you're reviewing, they are absolutely not the people that they seem to be. The three who were here were all imposters. None of them were who they appeared to be. They were all agents of the Black Brotherhood. The people they're writing to in House Otwin, they would all be part of the Black Brotherhood. The people who they're writing to on Edgewater team, likewise, all members of the Black Brotherhood. And Bucharab, one thing with your spellcraft and with your incredible planes roll before too, it may not surprise you to learn that this demon, if it is what you suspect, it is able to easily tear knowledge from the mind of victims.
Okay.
What do you guys do?
I'll make sure I've conveyed all this information to Alisha as we're talking. Okay.
Yeah, and she'll do the same. She'll be like, it looks like 3 of these people in this adventuring party are actually Black Brotherhood members, and 1 person from House Odwin and one or more people in the Edgewater team are also Blackwater. I think, is that what you said, Kev?
Yes, all the entire, for the way that they're talking about it and the responses they're getting back, it seems like all of them are imposters. They're either fully sworn to the Black Brotherhood. Like, what I mean is that the way that they're talking to one another, the way they refer to one another, they're not by the names of what they're presenting as. They're not by so-and-so Otwin. These are not people who have fallen to it. They are people who have been replaced.
Right.
Interesting.
So we've definitely stumbled on some sort of big conspiracy, and clearly someone has summoned a creature of power. Is this something that you report back to the man in the hat, or does he expect us to take care of this?
Well, this is greatly disturbing revelation. If there is indeed devotees of an elder god here and a conspiracy that has not been discovered involving the Black Brotherhood within venerable organizations and families, this may go deeper than we even know yet.
If you put your conspiracy mind on, what do you think this creature is here to do?
It seems like it's here to eliminate these Black Brotherhood agents who have taken over.
In which case,
Edgewater team and the 1 person from House Odwin would be next on the list.
Yeah.
So we need to get moving.
Yeah.
What happens when it destroys all of these Black Brotherhood? Like, if they summoned it and it destroys them, does it just roam free and wreak havoc until someone finds it?
Possible.
Well, what did the spirits say?
The spirit said, my huge list of scroll here. It's going to kill them all. So it'll just keep going, I'm assuming. The party was betrayed. Was below.
How did the growl come into your knowledge?
He said that it was he was suggesting, or one of them, that this was the rival of the Black Star. But I may have that jumbled together. There's also the Herald of the Black Star was another thing that was said.
The bringer of the end.
It said those who lurked below betrayed the party, and those were the Eaters, as far as I understood.
Yeah.
And those were the Grell.
You rolled well enough, certainly, to know that the Growl are certainly capable of summoning such a creature.
So maybe there seems like there was some arrangement between these two groups, but there was a betrayal, and these Gurel were able to summon forth this demonic entity that killed these ones here.
We have to kill this Grell.
The
Find
question
the
is,
Grell and kill it, and hopefully it doesn't summon this demonic entity.
yes, and of course I discovered some very powerful teleportation magic here. It would be difficult to figure out where this thing may have gone. Perhaps though we could find out more information from Oddwin.
You guys would know right now, based on your gathering information from before, precisely where the Edgewater team is going to be bunking, and precisely where to find this particular member of the Oddwin family.
Okay, so the question is, which one should we go to first, Dave?
Edgewater team.
All right.
Okay. So, racing across town, you guys make your way to the residence of the the Edgewater team. Now, yes. It is nighttime. So you have to use your imagination for this one. These are the kind of houses that these guys would be living in. Tell me how you guys choose to approach this.
How late would it be? Would it be a point where people would be sleeping,
now,
or is it dinner time?
It's probably like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock by the time you guys reach here. A lot of time had passed while you guys were observing the thing. The murder happened later at night.
Right. Okay. What do you think, Alisha? What is the best way? I mean, it seems to me we are protecting one evil from another.
Alisha, what is, as a military woman, what is the reason for taking captives in war?
Information. And that creature that you said could take information right out of their heads?
Yes.
So we need to get to them quickly before it gets whatever it is they know?
And get it for ourselves.
And so that we know and it doesn't. So yes. I say we bust the door down.
Just gonna race in. Okay.
I like how you think.
Why don't you give us...
We're here to let you know that deep secrets are all dead, and you need to start talking to us now.
So why don't you give us a strength check again, Alisha?
I need a better way of opening doors.
Well...
All right, here goes.
I mean, you guys open the door too. I'm just assuming you're kicking it down.
Yeah.
Is there anything you're missing from... You need one more to kick that door down. I think you told me you had a running start, didn't you?
Yeah, I was going to run at it and give it a shoulder check.
You break the door open,
Sweet.
and the smell hits you before the sight does.
Oh no.
But you do hear sound from upstairs. Bucharab, you're listening for spirits, of course.
Yep.
Nothing. You can hear go. There's more than one things moving upstairs, Alisha. You can give us a listen check if you want to try and discern more.
Okay.
Holy hell. There are 3 things moving upstairs, and they are not the size of what you heard. And it's not, you will listen, not smell, but
Like
there's
smaller?
a stink of brimstone in here too.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Okay. 3 things upstairs. Mace out.
Go. Yeah.
I don't have any protections right now, except for maybe bless. Oh, well, what did I cast last time? I think I cast bless last time.
You cast bless last time, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is the same day, so all I have left is resistance.
I can. Well, let me just double check. How many? I think I can only affect 1 item with my aligned weapon. This is why I like having a physical book that I just ordered now.
Sorry. I should have
given
given you a fucking heads up before. Yeah.
No. Here we go. Aligned weapon. Weapon. 1 weapon or 50 projectiles. So I'm going to cast it onto Alicia's mace.
Okay.
And I'll make it good.
Okay.
Good.
And it's yes, it is a good weapon, and it'll last for 6 minutes.
What you're hearing up there, Alisha, it sounds like big sized dogs that are moving around, but the stink and the snarling that they're making, there's no way that's a fucking dog.
Okay. It's Kev's favorites. Evil dogs from somewhere bad.
Let's go face them.
Let's go face them and make our dungeon master happy.
Yes. Oh, I have an idea. One more thing. I'm going to use my Vanisher cloak. No. It's not going to last long enough. Forget it. Let's go.
Okay. So, if you make your way, and what you're finding, one thing you can tell as well, this is not the same kind of relatively struggle-free encounter you had before. This was a fucking bloodbath. Something massive tore its way through here, smashing furniture, tearing apart bodies. So you make your way up to the store, and as you're getting up there, Jesus, the stink is getting even worse, and it's almost like it's like a horrible combination of snarling and belching from in there of what the sound is. It's something utterly unlike anything you've heard before. Bucharab, you could give us a knowledge planes check.
Okay.
You know, one of the great things that has been forgotten since 3rd edition, guys, is the fiendish template. Like, for instance, a fiendish template on a owlbear, let's say.
Yeah, totally. Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Interesting choice as an example. Yes, I did like that
But thankfully, owlbears are too big for what I heard upstairs. These are dog size.
Yeah. And you hear kind of that belching, barking sound again. I'm not going to make it because I'm probably making myself sick by doing that. But what you can smell as you get up is something that I need you both to give us a fortitude save, please. Caught myself.
Yeah, that was close.
Fortitudinal?
Fortitude is good enough.
Good.
Yeah, Alicia's saving throws are absolutely berserk. They're so good.
Yeah, she had a 14 on her. Plus 14 on
Yeah,
her 14.
paladin saves, man. They're fucking nuts.
That's great.
Oh, gosh. Okay, so what you hit is there's this. You need to know. Whatever, there's some effect that is happening and coming out of that room of their stinking, belching, that is nearly making you like so viciously nauseous that you would be paralyzed in place. But both of you managed to resist this stuff, and Bucharab, this is a stink of hell.
Mm-hmm. I think he says that as he gets it.
Yeah.
Stench of hell.
So, you get to the top. Allow me a second to get a reveal ready here. Actually, I need 2 reveals here.
I emit a level 6 aura of good.
Okay.
So yeah, George, you get a bonus versus fear saves from me.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Okay. So I've got a handout ready. Allow me to make sure I'm on my GM's layer here. Let's get these tokens. I mean, I hope I have enough room on the screen for how many tokens we're going to have. Kev, you're an asshole. Yep, that's right.
It's a Halloween game, so.
Heck yes.
Yeah.
Did I remember? Holy shit! Guys, how prepped was I for this game? I actually set up the default tokens for it.
Oh, nice.
To be displaying in the right area, so hot damn. Okay. Who is it who opens the door? Remember the action economy here? You could ready an action to trigger once, if X, then Y.
Right.
But opening a door would require a free hand.
Yep.
And Alisha has dibs on both. Oh!
I know.
What were you going to ask, George?
I can't remember. Is opening a door an action or a move action?
It is a move action, but
Okay.
you have assistance from a very clever companion.
True. Yes, I will direct Al to unlock that door or unlock/open that door. Not unlock.
Okay.
Open that door first.
All right. And then, Alisha, what is your readied action?
She is going to raise her shield if anything attacks her.
Okay.
I don't know.
You could attack if something comes
Oh,
up.
like, yeah, okay. So if there's a creature within range, step forward and attack it.
All right. So you get yourself ready, and then Al flits down, lands his weight enough to sort of trigger the mechanism, fly back to pull it open. The stench is even worse when the door is open because the room is fucking full of this pungent, magical, demonic stink. But what is in there and moving around over across one another, the size of large hogs, are 3 of these disgusting creatures. They turn and begin charging towards you. Alisha, you have your attack first. Oop, how about I go to the proper level? There we go. Yeah. Okay, I don't want to make that sound again. It is hard on the throat. Makes the goblin look pretty easy to do. They are not that big. I just want to have the big things because they are such gross-looking creatures.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. Bucharab, you can make a... Oh! You can make a knowledge planes check first. You can't use your dark knowledge as a reaction, but because you were thinking about this, I'll let you make another roll.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Knowledge planes, right?
Yeah, please.
Here it
And then
goes.
Alisha, go ahead and make your attack roll.
Oh.
Nat 1, baby. You want to still hunting fortune that, or
Sure.
You don't
I have
care.
one left. No, I have one left.
Okay.
I'm all about knowledge. Like, more knowledge,
Yeah.
the better. That's how I feel. So here we go.
Ooh. All right, so that's
Jesus.
actually, it's not great, but you know what? Fortunately, there are billions of these things that populate the lower plane because these are the lowest of the low in those regions. Alisha, you bring this down, and the magical power that Bucharab infused in it to align your mace to be good shines through, and this thing, you can see, you can hear the breaking of its demonic flesh underneath the weight of your club.
I didn't add any bonuses or anything to that because I didn't think there was any.
Yeah, it's added your strength already and the magical enchantment, and I don't think there are any other ones yet.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
No, from Bucharab's spell, because it's already a magical weapon, so
Right,
there would have
but
been a place.
in 3.5, having a magic weapon isn't good enough.
Okay.
If something has like a damage reduction where it's against good, magic weapons don't trump that in 3.5. You need to have a good one, or you need to have whatever the thing is. I think it's 5 is where it changes. Like, as soon as you got magic weapons, you can affect everything with DR.
No, what I meant was I didn't add a +1 from Bucharab's spell because I didn't know if there was one. So
There's not. No. It just aligns it so that this is a good aligned thing, which means you get solidly through this thing's DR.
Yeah.
Because that is one like really challenging thing with the devils is that they have all sorts. Even these smaller ones have what do you call it? DR. Were you able to roll initiative without clicking on your token?
I think I was clicked on the token anyways.
Okay. Bucharab, try rolling without clicking the token. Let's see if that works.
Nope. It said you attempted to command, looking blah, blah, blah. Game an error.
Good to know which ones work, which ones don't.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and then these fucking things. Let me roll for them. Oh, that's not good. +0. Okay. That is not... Oh, actually, Bucharab, you did not roll terribly well either.
Nope.
All right, so first up is Alisha. So, Alisha, you're in there. You've hammered one of these things. They're small enough that two of them can fit in kind of the space in front of you if they choose to. And from all the markings on the ground, I also want you to... Oh, my... I will not go into the detail, but imagine what it's like to have 3 of these things stuck in here for a length of time. If you've had a pet stuck at home for a day, you can imagine what it's done to the room. So this is just an absolutely vile room in here. They seem to have also devoured at least 3 of the bodies. So, Alisha, what are you doing?
Full attack?
Full attack, okay. Go right ahead. So roll your first attack. And if you wish to do anything, you do need to declare smite beforehand if you choose to.
Yeah, I'm not going to smite.
Not going to smite? Okay. So go ahead with your first attack. And, power attack as well. Remember, you have that... to choose... So attack 1... Let's see here. Yeah, attack 1 is a solid hit. Only 5 points of damage. Attack 2. Nat 1. So that's not great. But the first one, do you want Astonishing Fortune that second one?
Yeah, you know what? I think I will.
Okay.
I think I have 2 points right now.
Yep.
So I will use 1. So,
so I'm going to roll the same thing. We'll just look at attack 2.
Okay.
Wonder if you can set...
So roll the full attack, and then...
Yeah, let's roll the same thing, and we'll look at attack number 2, because that'll have the proper modifier of -5.
Yeah, I was just going to ask about modifiers, so okay, yeah, good call.
Come on. There you go, solid hit. So, what does it look like as you... Now, did I just kill my... No. Let's see which is... No, I didn't. I'm learning.
Nice.
I'm so inclined to go to the left, I often start with the left and go to right, and then that's usually where my initiative tracker is. So, Alisha, what does it look like as you fucking send this thing screaming back to the pit?
Yeah, and it's a combo. It's like a side swiping attack where she hits it and it kind of goes this way, and then she just uses her momentum and comes back on it and crashes it in the head.
All right. So the one of them is going to have to move in order to kind of get in on you. And the other one can make a full attack on you. So your AC is like a 22, isn't it? It's something ridiculous.
24.
24. Wow. Holy shit. Okay, so that's a miss. That's a miss. Let's bite. Oh, check dice. Ooh. 21, still not good enough. All right, so one of them gets in, and it gets very close with its bite. That disgusting gore-filled little, like, bat pig face. It's trying to get in past you. The other one actually tries to use some kind of malefic magical effect on you, to which you are totally immune. It did not realize it was tussling with the paladin. Bucharab, what are you doing?
All right, first I'm gonna just, in eyeing this creature, try to recall whatever dark knowledge I have about.
Love it.
Choose this one there.
Okay. Well, it's actually. Oh yeah, right. You do it to target one.
It's
okay.
I pick that big one. So let's pick that one on the left.
Okay.
And then I got to make my. I'm assuming it's knowledge, planes.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Yeah.
For this one. Okay. So here we go.
So go ahead. Oh, fantastic.
23.
So close.
So
all right.
Plus one for attack rolls for you and I, Dave. And we also, you're not going to need it, but I'll take the +1 saving throws against whatever abilities they have.
Mm-hmm.
So +1 to attack rolls?
Another +1 to attack rolls against that
just
one.
Just on that one.
Just on that one. Okay.
Yeah. And Alisha, it's your turn once again. What are you doing?
Well, actually,
no, sorry,
Bucharab,
you got a turn show. Yeah, standard action. Sorry.
Quick question with caster levels, because I get Magic Missile as a level 2 spell.
Yeah.
When I'm figuring out, is it that I'm technically one level?
No.
So I'm a 6th level caster.
Caster level for an archivist is equal to your class level. So that's it. Just because it's a 2nd level spell, the same way that like Fireball is a 3rd level spell, but you don't like back out levels from it. It just takes a more expensive slot for you.
Okay, that's great. So I'm not going to use the wand. I'm going to, I have 2 prepared. So I'm just going to roll at. I'm actually going to attack. I guess I'll focus fire on that one that I just did. So here we go. 50 points of force damage.
So I think you would have known how effective you would have been, and you did roll really well in your knowledge. So you know, like, he's going to have that one. You've given him the instruction. I'm going to erase one, but it's because it's my initiative tracker, the one that you hit. Your magic missiles just annihilate this thing. What does it look like? What do your magic missiles look like?
I think they're small balls of white glowing energy that zip across and kind of hit the thing and go inside and explode inside, and like you can see like white light come out of their mouths and ears and eyes for a second.
Hits the ground and they almost like dissolve into a puddle. Alisha, it's back to you again now. What are you doing?
Same as first. Full attack.
Okay. Come on.
But this time attack bonus 1?
+1, yep. You know what the plus sign is.
Damage bonus as well, or just attack bonus?
Just attack, I believe.
Okay.
Come on, big money. Big hit, that first one. Okay,
Damn.
so you have 1 point of astonishing fortune left. Would you like to spend that?
Nope, I will keep it. Hopefully we have a final encounter with something really monstrous.
Yeah, so you hammer this thing, it then is going to pull back. It just throws itself at you. And is not able to get past. It's just and you think it shot itself while it was doing this? Bucharab, what are you doing?
So I will then cast my other prepared magic missile. At this remaining one here. 7.
Yep. Both are destroyed.
Awesome.
We were too late. They're already dead.
Yes.
And it seems as if something is being is making tidy work, like wasting no time with this either. This is not the clean, massacre that you heard from before. Would you both give us a listen check, please?
Nope.
Okay. So what do you guys do?
Then we head to find that one person from House Odwin. They've got to be next on the list.
Agreed.
So you race downstairs, you race outside, and you nearly fucking bowl over a woman, probably in her late 20s, who's holding the hand of a child. It's dark out, it's way too fucking late for this to be up, and the kid, you just weren't paying attention. The kid's been pleading, "Mommy, Mommy, come, let me, it's cold, Mommy," and trying to get away. But as you come out, you stop yourself in time. This woman is staring directly at whoever is in front, which I'm guessing is Alisha?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm the shield.
She's just looking at you. And it's a iron and seemingly painful grip on the child's arm.
Alicia's like, it's not a safe night. You should go indoors.
Okay.
Is there anything particular about the woman?
Yeah, you can give a sense motive, actually. You're pretty good at that. Something very off about this woman. You can't imagine anyone would be, I mean, any reasonable person would be treating their child this way. And the way she looks at you, her head begins kind of slowly turning to the side. And she says, tears welling down her face, but no expression of emotion on her face.
It says to let it go.
Let it go?
It says to let it go.
Bucharab, is she possessed or something? Can you help her?
Bucharab, there could be a couple of things going on here. Do you want to give us your choice, knowledge planes or spellcraft?
I think because we're dealing with so much stuff involving planes, I'll do that.
Okay.
24.
Incredible. You remember from before, this creature, this demon of the invisible art, it can dominate minds as easily as Alicia's spirit could command someone. Like, it is...
Right.
And sadly, like, these things may still be conscious of what is going on.
Oh, okay, yeah. Her mind has been overthrown by the demon.
She says, "No!" and gets that much out before her head seems to fucking rotate upside down, and you hear the snapping of her spine. And she drops down like just a fucking rag doll. And the child screams out. What do you guys do?
I scoop up the child.
Okay.
And well, I have to put my mace away. So I'll put my mace away and I'll scoop up the child and say, "Come with me. I'll get you to safety."
Okay,
and
so
we start running towards the...
Would you each give us a listen check once again?
Listen check.
15.
So, Alisha, you scoop up this kid, and you're like looking like you don't know this neighborhood, you don't know the people in here. Bucharab, is that child laughing?
This is what I was worried about. And I actually, do I see the spirit of the mom?
You absolutely do. Yes. So she is standing there, and she looks at you, and she points up. And with Alisha carrying this child and laughing, And you looking up, let me show you.
Is there a 3.5 paladin in the book?
Complete Divine has Pally stuff in it. It's sort of spread across a couple of things. Hunched like some grotesque living gargoyle, as large as an ogre, and staring down at you.
No.
You know, Bucharab, the taxonomy of fiends. This is a cerebrolith. And guys, that is where we're going to have to end our session.
Awesome.
With Alisha carrying this child along who seemingly want to know a neat thing about the cerebroliths, Dave, is with psionic powers, you could put extra points into them to then have it affect more than one target. So that is where we are leaving Alisha and Bucharab. But I have a feeling that is not the last we have seen of them. So
I hope not.
For those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for our Halloween special. And our war story. The first of our war stories using D&D 3.5. First time we've had D&D 3.5 on the channel in over 2 years, too. So that was pretty fun.
Totally.
As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the campaign, or the game we're playing, please do not hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. There's also a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where all of us are active, and we have channels there dedicated to D&D 3.5, to the Night Below campaign in general, as well as most of the games we run on the channel, as well as most of the other campaigns we have on the channel, and a bunch of other stuff as well, too. So there is a ton of great people over there. You are more than welcome to join us over there. There is also a link down below to our friends at Noble Knight Games. Noble Knight Games is the preeminent unionized retailer of hard-to-find and out-of-print role-playing games in North America. They also have a terrific selection of new role-playing games, board games, and card games, but their best feature, for my mind, is their terrific selection of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs, including a wide selection of D&D 3.5 things. Noble Knight played a huge role in helping me fill my 3.5 collection with what I wanted. If you, not only do they have the great selection, if they don't have something in stock, you can often put it on a want list, and they'll send you an email when it comes in. And if you make a purchase of $10 or more through their website, be sure to enter the code FALLMUSER, all one word, all caps, at checkout, and you will save yourself 10% on your purchase. If you're listening to this at another time after January 15, 2024, come back to one of the more recent videos, and you'll find a current update or discount code listed there. There's also a link down below to something called Heroes Save Villages. That's the charity fundraising campaign we run on the channel, which benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, a really incredible organization active in over 130 countries, benefiting over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children. And all donations that go through that link go directly to SOS Children's Villages International. None of it goes to the channel or any other middleman. It just goes to help out the kids who benefit from their services. That's a small way of saying thank you. We are going to be wrapping up our year-long charity campaign in the end of November, and voting is going on for another day for the final components of our final final session in that 6-part campaign. And fans of D&D 3.5 may be happy to learn that the leading contender right now is D20 Modern. We're going to be playing a game set in the 1980s, and the leading things right now are for what the donors have voted on have been D&D 3.5 and playing unlicensed paranormal investigators. If you donated $10 or more since June 1st, 2023, head on over to the Charity Initiatives channel, cast your own vote for that, or just come back at the end of November and join us for our wrap-up of that campaign with a session of whatever ends up winning. Might be D20 Modern, might be something else. The last thing I will say is an enormous thank you to our stalwart players from today. So Dave and George, thank you so much for joining me for this Halloween war story. Dave, I had a blast helping put something together for Alisha's backstory. And George, I really had a blast trying to put together a character that I thought would be as much you as you could possibly enjoy. So
you nailed it.
That's awesome. So then for those listening at home, this is not going to be the last we see of these heroes, but it is the last for now. So we will be we'll have news about whatever is happening with the continued adventure with these heroes, but we hope that you enjoyed our Halloween session and that you have a very happy Halloween. So for those listening at home, we hope that we gave you a couple of hours, take your mind off the trouble of our world and think about the troubles that our heroes in Threshold are uncovering. Dirty deeds and nefarious conspiracies. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, happy gaming, and happy Halloween.
Yeah.